Check, check, check. 1, 2, 3. Check, check, check. Hey everybody, good afternoon. It's Sunday just after 4:30. I hope you're having a fantastic weekend, and we have an unusually strong June front headed this direction, and that is cooler, drier air about to meet up with that. The hottest temperature so far this season, and when you get those clash of air masses, you get the chance of severe weather. So we're going to spend the next several minutes together talking about the severe weather risk for the rest of the night, and also the cooler temperatures that we're expecting for tomorrow. So I hope you're having a very pleasant weekend. We are under a severe thunderstorm watch. This watch is in place until at least 10 o'clock. I have a feeling, though, later on this evening, it will be both extended in time and maybe even in coverage. So places to the south and east of Austin may see this watch go in effect. As far as atmospheric conditions go, this is probably one of the more unstable days that we've had all spring because, first of all, it is the hottest day so far this spring. So you have a very hot, humid bubble of air sitting over central Texas, and you put a front in the mix, and you've got some issues. So I've got you on, here on our Facebook Live. There's a few people that say they can't hear me. There's other people that say they can hear me. So if you can hear me, holler at me. I have no sound. Audio is gone. I can hear Albert fine. I can't hear. Weird. Facebook has just been weird where some people can hear and others can't. So anyway, let's just get into the forecast. Look at the temperature spread right now from 57 degrees behind this cold front up in Amarillo to as hot as 108 in Laredo. It's 97 degrees right now in Austin. The hottest we've been was about 98. I'm thinking once the almanac comes out, it's going to be 99 to 100 for the high temperature. And if we zoom in, I'll show you locally, things are fine. We've just got some fair weather cumulus clouds out there. Things are going a-okay, but again, we are hot, we are humid, and we've got this front coming in, and that front is going to tap in to that bubble of hot, humid air and allow for the chance of some severe weather. So let me just kind of drive the radar here for you a little bit, and what we'll do is we'll zoom out, and I'll show you that there are thunderstorms, and these are severe to the north of the area. This is going to be off towards the due west of Waco, and then this thunderstorm that has just popped up, you'll see it pop right there, about a county and a half away from Bryan College Station. So it's these thunderstorms that will continue to evolve and move down to the south. And what I think is going to happen as well, that frontal boundary will allow for additional development and thunderstorm activity here to the north of us. And then all of that activity will slide on in, impacting virtually everybody later this evening. And I'll show you the latest timeline in just a second. But let's just kind of take a look at this thunderstorm that's up here. This is in Boss, Comanche, and Hamilton County. This one capable of producing golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving to the south at 35. So let's just do a storm track on that one because this is a thunderstorm that's going to impact places like Williamson County, possibly even Travis, Lee, and Milam County here down the road. So we'll put a storm track on where the heaviest activity is, and it's kind of moving to the south-southeast. And that thunderstorm, again, it's not going to slow down. It's going to move into our viewing area. We'll see it evolve, probably grow in both intensity and also coverage and backbuild to the west. So I've got it moving into Salado around 6 o'clock on its current speed. It may speed up a bit. Georgetown approximately during the 6:30 time frame. Austin Executive Airport, the Pflugerville area at about 7 o'clock. So moving to the south-southeast at about 35 miles per hour. These severe storms, they will pick up as you have the outflow boundaries kind of move out ahead of it. You could have additional thunderstorm development out ahead of it. And also, because this one could be producing wind gusts up to 70 miles per hour, the forward speed may pick up as well. But that's kind of the latest timeline. And it's not just going to be that one thunderstorm. We'll see additional thunderstorms kind of evolve and develop. So let's take a look at some of our high resolution forecast models and what we're forecasting. This is the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. And from Austin to the west to the north, in that orange, that's an enhanced risk for severe weather. That's a 3 out of 5 on the severe weather scale, enhanced risk. So where is kind of the main risk? Where are we going to see maybe the bigger thunderstorms? It may be from Austin northward into Williamson County out west in the hill country. That being said, everyone here in the KVUE viewing area is under a risk of severe weather this evening and tonight. In yellow, that is a risk of 2 out of 5, a slight risk. Includes places like San Marcos, Luling, Lockhart, Bastrop, LaGrange, Giddings, down towards I-10 around Schulenburg and the Luling area as well in Caldwell County. So forecast models, we'll kind of look at some of these simulations. We should have a brand new one that just came out, so we'll look at this one together. One thing I will tell you about these forecast simulations, these forecast models, I think they are downplaying the chance of thunderstorms. That's number one, and I think they're a little too slow. So let's just kind of look at this one together. And as we head towards about 7 o'clock, this has been very consistent, wanting to develop thunderstorms in the hill country at 7 o'clock. So notice that the forecast model is not doing a great job on picking up on this stuff that's currently to the west of Waco and will be moving closer to Williamson and Milam County by 7 o'clock. So this is just a simulation. That's why we have meteorologists to look at what's happening now, look at the ingredients, and to see how this will all go. So this model has thunderstorms back building to the west at 7 o'clock in the hill country. By 8 o'clock, these could be stronger severe thunderstorms hill country, and I think they probably even extend out towards the east like this: Williamson, Milam County, portions of Lee, maybe even northern sections of Travis County by the time we head into 8 o'clock. As we head into the latter part of the evening, I just feel like this forecast model has just been downplaying the chance of thunderstorm activity, although I do like how it has a downtrend with a loss of daytime heating late this evening and overnight. And then we'll look for some scattered showers, but probably non-severe as we head into the early morning hours on Monday. And Monday will be significantly cooler, maybe about 20 degrees cooler than highs today, only in the low 80s. There could be some spots in the 70s for tomorrow. So what are we worried about here this evening? I'm most concerned about thunderstorms producing straight line winds. And proof is in the pudding. We're looking at those thunderstorms up to the west of Waco and developing to the north of Bryan College Station. And the severe warnings on them are based mainly on wind, 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts with those severe thunderstorms moving to the north of us. So wind, damaging winds, straight line winds is going to be my main concern. Secondary threat, and it's still elevated, will be the hail threat. It is super hot, right? I mean, upper 90s, we got heat seas above 100. We'll look at those current numbers in just a second. It's like, how can you get hail when it's this hot out? Well, if you go up in height, we went in a hot air balloon, it would eventually freeze. The freezing layer is a couple of, several thousand feet up. So these thunderstorms that we're expecting to move over parts of the area could be anywhere from 45 to maybe even 50,000 feet. It's well in the freezing layer of the clouds. So you can get some big time hail out of some of these thunderstorms as well, but it's secondary to the wind threat. The tornado and the flash flood threat, it's not zero, but it's low. That would be kind of the third in line. So it's wind, hail, and then third in line would be tornadoes and flash flooding. Here's another forecast model if you want to look at this one. This is the RPM model. See if this one's doing any better. And it's not. These models have just not done a very good job on picking up on the thunderstorm activity that's already ongoing due north of our area. So, and you can see how this one's even downplaying it and delaying the thunderstorm activity until after midnight. I think it's going to be early evening for western hill country, northern counties, mid-evening for the Austin metro, mid to late evening, Austin south, and also off towards the east. So it's just one of those days where the sun's out, it's so hot, it's like, how can there be a chance of severe weather? But know that the heat and the sun and the humidity is going to make for a very unstable environment. It's already unstable out of there. Think of our atmosphere as a bubble of hot and humid air, and the front just pops that bubble and allows for upward motion in the atmosphere. Thunderstorms, and some of those could be strong or severe. So we're sitting at 97 degrees right now in Austin. Here's a look at temperatures right now. It's 100 in Marble Falls, 94 Hutto in Round Rock, Temperatures out west as hot as 102 in Llano, 101 in Mason, and the heat index has just been outrageous. Look at the heat index right now in Giddings at 113, 106 in Austin, 111 for that heat index in San Marcos. That's happening right now. So it's not just hot. There's no lid. There's no cap on our atmosphere. You've got this free upward motion because it's so hot. But on top of that, it is so humid. And it's the humidity and the heat and the buoyancy in our atmosphere which is giving us some concern about the thunderstorm activity for tonight. So my thunderstorm chance this evening into the parts of the early overnight is at 70%. Some of these thunderstorms are going to be strong or severe. Who has overall the best chance of seeing strong or severe thunderstorms? Overall, the best would probably be from Austin northward, Austin westward. All right, but if you live south of Austin, Butte-Coyote, you live east of Austin, Bastrop, LaGrange, don't put your guard down. You're just as hot, you're just as humid, and the same front that is moving through the rest of the area will move through your area. The reason why it may be a bit lower as far as severe weather goes south and east of Austin is that front may be reaching you by the time our atmosphere starts to cool down and get a little bit more stable. At least that's what we're hoping for. Check out the extended forecast. We're going to be 15 to 20 degrees cooler tomorrow. This front coming in is unusually strong for June. And we're only going to be in the upper 70s to low 80s tomorrow. It's going to feel like October tomorrow. It's going to be great. A couple of passing showers, especially in the morning, but not a washout. A couple of passing showers Tuesday, maybe even a tad cooler in the low 80s. Mid 80s will still feel great on Wednesday, and then we're back in the 90s, but that's closer to average Thursday through next weekend. So let's go through this one time again, because we've got maybe some extra people watching. The bottom line is a severe thunderstorm watch has been posted for most counties of the KVUE viewing area. It includes all of the Austin Metro. The only county not included is Fayette County, but Fayette County, you may be included in this a little bit later on this evening, depending on how this evolves. Again, a severe thunderstorm watch means we're literally on the watch. We're on the lookout for the possibility of severe weather. Atmospherically, conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather. And we have a clash of air masses. You know, we talk about how we can have the clash of air masses and allow for severe weather. It's hot, hottest day so far this year. It's humid, oppressively so out there. And then up towards the north behind the front, look how much cooler and drier the air is. So cool, dry air, hot, humid air, clashing right over central Texas. And that's why we have that severe weather risk for this evening and tonight. We'll look at the forecast models again for those that are curious about the timing on this. So it's pretty quiet right now on our local Doppler radar. You'll notice we go up here. We've got some new showers kind of popping up here. San Saba, Lampasas County, any of this activity could go 0 to 60 within 30 minutes. So we'll watch this thunderstorm right here, a little shower basically. It's not even a storm yet, but that may pulse up quickly. You can see just in the last scan that extra activity starting to pop on up. This thunderstorm that is out here towards the west of Waco, and even though it is out of our viewing area, everybody, it's going to be moving on in here early this evening. This is going to be around the Hamilton, Texas. Again, this is going to be between Comanche and Waco. Just kind of curious to see hail tracker on this one. My goodness. Oh, that's some big time hail. Doppler radar, and it'll be scanning up towards the top of the storm. It's at least golf ball size hail, if not larger with that thunderstorm. And the official warning, put the warning text up on here so I can read it. Official warning as of the last update was the potential for 70 mile per hour wind. So the official warning on this one, and updated about 10 minutes ago, they've got this moving a little bit slower to the south at 25 miles per hour. New warning just came out south of it. Golf ball size hail, 70 mile per hour wind gusts possible. And just looking at hail tracker, that hail may be even a little bit bigger than that, maybe getting close to baseball size. That is a mean thunderstorm. And again, that's well north of our area at the moment, but you can see how it's moving. It's moving to the south-southeast. So let's just kind of do a new storm track on that, because that is going to be, I think, a storm to really keep an eye on. So they got the forward speed dropping to 25. We'll do a storm track kind of moving in this direction. Got it moving into Briggs at 6:25, moving into Sun City around 7 o'clock, Georgetown about 7:17, Round Rock around 7:30, Austin Executive around 8 o'clock, Circuit of the Americas at about 8:36. Those are approximate times. I'm thinking that this thing is probably going to speed up over the next hour or so, so maybe in those locations a little bit earlier than that. But I don't foresee, as sometimes we see, I don't foresee this stuff falling apart as it moves in our area. I think it's probably going to get a little bit maybe stronger and also just kind of bigger as far as aerial coverage goes. This thunderstorm that is to the due north of Bryan College Station, that's going to stay off towards the east of our area. But what we're going to be watching is additional development out here towards the west of this main supercell thunderstorm. It's going to take one more little look at it because it is showing at least a little bit of signs of hooking, and that can kind of give us a early indication of maybe it's rotating. So just going to see if there's any rotation on it. No, but there's some big time wind with that thunderstorm. Again, this is outside of our viewing area, west of Waco, south of Hamilton. You see these blues there. Those are going to be wind gusts, above the surface as high as 80 miles per hour, and then mixing down to maybe as high as 70 miles per hour at the surface. So that is a mean thunderstorm. So let's see what they did here. The Storm Prediction Center just sent out an update. Let me see what they did here. Stand by, everybody. I'm thinking they may have extended this watch. And they have. So we talked about how Fayette County was out of the severe thunderstorm watch. They're in it now. So they have expanded the severe thunderstorm watch. Let's see if it's for the same time. Yeah, so until 10 o'clock. So they did exactly what we were talking about, how they were going to extend that watch, that opportunity for additional severe weather more to the south and more to the east. So now every single county here in the KVUE viewing area is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock because we've got these warnings starting to pop up. Let's look at future radar again. And this is why you just don't rely on computer data, right? You look at the real-time stuff. You look at the temperature, the dew point. You look at atmospherically what's going on, because notice how the computer model is completely missing on this stuff that's developing out here to the north of us. So computer model is, I don't want to say useless at the moment, but we're just going to have to now forecast it, meaning we'll take a look at what's happening on the Doppler radar right now, and I'll load the kind of the big perspective. And we know that we have a supercell here to the north of us and a developing severe thunderstorm north of College Station. This guy is going to move into our area. There's just no doubt about it. So if you are in Andice and Florence and Briggs, the rest of Burnett County, Georgetown, Gerald, Salado, Hutto, Granger, Austin, Leander, Cedar Park, Round Rock, Pflugerville, you want to watch this thunderstorm here over the next 2 hours as that gets closer to our area. It's a hail producer, large hail, at least golf ball size, and a wind producer. We're seeing Doppler radar indicate winds above the surface as high as 80 miles per hour and could be mixing down to as much as 70 miles per hour. So let's see. Okay, so that was just the next update. I don't know if you could hear that dinging in the background. So what I think is going to happen is we're going to see thunderstorms kind of build out here towards the west. You see on the latest radar scan, we've got these little isolated little showers popping on up. And it's just going to be one of those days, just because our atmosphere is so volatile that even the little stuff like that can go from just a little garden variety shower, garden variety thunderstorm to something severe. So I think we're going to see the radar kind of fill in out here towards the west. So we're all staffed up. We're going to be kind of keeping an eye on this. My game plan for you is this, just if you want to hang with me for a second. We have a 5:30 newscast, so we'll end this here in about 12 minutes. I'll get ready for the 5:30. And then immediately after that, just after 6 p.m., we'll go on and stay on, and we'll do kind of our continuing coverage on the digital side and then dip into TV as needed. So we keep you updated throughout the rest of the evening. So I'm going to take a look at some of your questions. For those that may be not watching on the Facebook page, I'm looking at questions on Facebook. I know we're streaming on all of our platforms right now, giving people a heads up on what's going on. Veronica says man is better than computer and woman is better than man. So, you know what I mean? So, well, we got to get some other heads in here to take a look at this stuff for us. What about Rockdale? So, Cindy, everyone's included, whether you're in Rockdale or Fredericksburg or San Marcos or Granger, everyone is under a severe weather threat. Everyone is under a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock. Yeah, so Monica, yeah, so I think Monica's asking, hey, it looks like it's coming down a lot sooner than I think. Yeah, I think the forecast models are just kind of out to lunch. We've got to look at what's upstream of us, and there's a warning just outside of our viewing area. I know some folks live in Lampasas County that kind of watch KVUE over the air, and Lampasas County is under a severe thunderstorm warning right now for that just monster thunderstorm. And just look at all the lightning with it, and this is the one that's going to be really mean. That one has produced, that thunderstorm alone has produced nearly 1,500 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes. It doesn't take into account intra-cloud or cloud-to-cloud lightning, but cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in the last 15 minutes with that severe thunderstorm of 1,442 in the last 15 minutes, which is unbelievable. And that's the storm that's moving on in. You know, there's sometimes that we track severe weather threats here in Central Texas, and I'm saying, hey, the models are saying this. Hey, we expect things to start to pop up. And we've got, you know, it's already popping up and it's moving closer to our viewing areas. So that one is going to be a pain in the neck. And I think this, on its kind of current heading, moving to the south, it'll probably impact portions, if not all, of the city of Austin. So let's do just another storm track on this, moving to the kind of south-southeast, kind of like that, right? At only 25 miles per hour, and these are approximate times. I'm thinking it's probably going to speed up. So this thunderstorm may arrive a little bit earlier than what this says, but Killeen here in less than an hour, moving into Killeen in the Fort Hood area. Briggs at 6:11, just before 7 at Sun City. Round Rock here in the 7 o'clock hour, along with Pflugerville. It's got Austin now, just before 8 o'clock, but I'm thinking it's going to be a lot earlier than that. Cedar Creek showing the 8 o'clock hour, moving into our southern viewing area at 9:02. Its current speed at 25 miles per hour. If it goes up to 35, 40, it's going to arrive at these areas a lot sooner than that. So, and I know that's just one isolated thunderstorm, but we have a atmosphere that has temperatures as hot as 102 in Llano, 97 in Austin, 98 in Giddings. So it's not just going to be that one lone thunderstorm. We will see this activity build to the west and maybe to the east. So I think a lot of us are going to be impacted with thunderstorm activity here this evening, and then things will start to quiet down after midnight. The hands down most significant risk out of this stuff is going to be wind damage, right? From straight line damaging winds. I posted a video on my Facebook and Twitter page from the Thursday storms of straight line winds around Smithville, and that was probably 65, 70 mile per hour winds from late last week. So damaging winds is number one threat. Secondary threat, but it's still elevated, is large hail. With that thunderstorm that's to the west of Waco near Hamilton, Texas, that one's producing at least golf ball size hail, at least, if not larger. Tornado threat is not zero, but it's low right now, and the flash flood threat is low as well as of now, because these thunderstorms, even though they're moving slow to the south, they're at least moving. I'm not seeing back building to the north where it could be hour after hour of rainfall. So got to keep an eye on all modes of severe weather. Winds, hail, tornadoes. That one thunderstorm, let's just go back to it real quick. Because if we start to see, this guy's starting to rotate, stuff like that, then, maybe we'll change our thinking. But it looks like it's mainly all just straight line winds. We'll turn on the nearest velocity. I mean, there is some rotation, but this blue stuff, oops, let's go right there. This blue that you see here on Doppler winds showing wind gust 75, 80 miles per hour above the surface. And you've got at least some rotation right in here. Let's look at that, and we'll go back to reflectivity. Yeah, so you've got some rotation right in here in this part of the thunderstorm, so we'll watch that. Watch it. Again, this is outside of our viewing area. Let's just zoom out real quick, get your bearings straight. You can see this is west of Waco, due north of Austin, moving to the south at 25, and this will be moving into our viewing area, our northern viewing area, probably within the next hour to 15. Northern areas of Burnett County, northern areas of Williamson County. All right. Also starting to see these little outflow boundaries. Let me put it on the right here. See this little green line, little outflow boundary there, outflow boundary there. Got some showers popping up here. Any kind of activity could develop on these outflow boundaries. These are like mini fronts. Rain-cooled air goes out ahead of these thunderstorms. It kind of wedges the warm, humid air upwards. Thunderstorms pop up. So it's going to get busy, everybody. We're going to probably have some thunderstorms begin to develop here and then back out here towards the west of this thunderstorm. And if we look out of what is ahead of this activity, there's nothing. There's nothing that is preventing these thunderstorms to continue to grow in coverage or intensity. You just have this warm flow off the Gulf of Mexico, and it is blazing hot too. And the temperature difference is just crazy. It's a 51-degree temperature difference from Amarillo and Laredo. Laredo as hot as 108, Amarillo at 57 degrees. Rain cooled 81 in Dallas, getting reports from our sister station WFAA of damage in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Looks like I heard a report of a crane somewhere in the Metroplex coming down because of gusty winds there, and I saw some video of just intense winds coming on in. So again, everybody is included. I know there's some folks that are wanting to know about a particular location. Everyone in the KVUE viewing area is under a risk of severe weather, starting in our northern counties, Burnett County into Williamson County, even into Llano County within the hour. And then as we get beyond 6 o'clock into the 7 o'clock hour for the Austin Metro, and then beyond that for places like San Marcos and Luling. But everyone's included. You can see every single county is in that Pepto-Bismol pink, which is a severe thunderstorm watch until 10 o'clock, at least 10 o'clock. We'll see if they decide to extend that a little bit later than that. As we look at just ingredients, this is one of the more volatile days for severe weather that we've seen all spring long, just because it is the hottest we've been all year. It's very, very humid out there. And there are other little ingredients that we look at. One is potential energy in the atmosphere. That is way high. We've just got a very, very volatile atmosphere. And you put a front to interact with that volatile atmosphere, you're going to have problems. That's what we're seeing here today. And that's why we'll be with you throughout the evening. So it's coming up towards 5 o'clock. I'm going to take the next 4 or 5 minutes to answer questions. I'm going to get ready for the 5:30 news. We're on TV at 5:30. And then we'll be back here with continuous updates just after 6 o'clock. And I'll stay with you through the duration of this. So that's gonna work out well, getting the news, getting the TV out of the way so we can hang out with you on the digital side, and then we'll dip into TV as needed. And we'll keep this live stream going for about the next hour and a half. We'll just be looping through radars and stuff like that. So let's just kind of loop the radar right now, and you'll see those thunderstorms coming in from the north. And apologize if you asked a question like 10 minutes ago and I missed it. So I'm just taking a look. So Zach is asking about the cap in the atmosphere. A cap or a lid on the atmosphere, it's something that we have to deal with. It's a forecasting obstacle. And Zach, with temperatures in the upper 90s to near 100 today, there's no cap. You have unlimited upward motion in the atmosphere. So that's why today is a day to really stay plugged in and watch watches and warnings come in and have a way to receive watches and warnings. The KVUE News app, you get a push alert. I found out through the KVUE News app. I was at home getting ready to come into work, and it said, phone went off, severe thunderstorm watch. I'm like, all right, time to go. So KVUE News app, weather radio though, hands down, it's old technology, but still the best. So just stay plugged in. Don't go to the draft house and go hang out in there for 3 hours. You got to stay connected because thunderstorms are moving in from the north right now. Yeah, Kelly, Cedar Park is in Williamson County. Williamson County is under a severe thunderstorm watch. And for Cedar Park, I've got thunderstorms coming to you within the next 2 hours. See those thunderstorms coming in from the north? Those are going to be impacting Cedar Park and Leander and Georgetown and the rest of the metro. It's going to get busy. Kimberly, South Austin is in Travis County. Travis County is under severe thunderstorm watch. Everyone's included, everybody. Ricky and Bastrop, you're included too. We're going to watch these thunderstorms increase for Bastrop later on this evening, maybe beyond 7 o'clock for you. Angie saying, do you think that the supercell to the north will intensify before it reaches Georgetown? Yeah, it's very possible. I mean, it's already super strong, and it's only going to move into a more humid and hotter atmosphere. So, and that's an interesting question. Let's just kind of look at this. Got to come over here. I want to see how high this thunderstorm is, and I've got this on another palette. Just a second. So I want to see just how high this sucker is, and we look at what we call echo tops. And holy cow, 64,000 feet. My goodness, that is a high thunderstorm. So if you are, I don't have my live cameras up yet, but if you are pretty much everywhere, if you look due north, right? If you look north, if you're here in Austin, you look due north, you'll see this thunderstorm. This is 64,000 feet. My goodness, that is a big, big storm. We can look at that another way and split it right in half and kind of take a look at it. Do that again. And yeah, exceeding 60,000 feet, at least on some of the higher tops. Wow, big, big storm right there. And that's coming in our viewing area, everybody. It's going to get busy for us, unfortunately. Just, you can't have, the hottest day of the year and a unusually strong June cold front clash without getting a chance of severe weather. So long story short, yes, it's going to get stronger by the time it comes in. So with that being said, let's actually look at the, let me see if I can pull up a live camera right here. Oops, not that one. Cool. Okay, stick with me. We'll look at that thunderstorm top, 64,000 feet. It's going to look like a mountain out there. So we'll zoom out our downtown camera, see what we can see out there. That's looking due north, right? So see the cloud out there in the distance? That's that thunderstorm. That's it. That's the blow off the anvil of that thunderstorm. You can see how it kind of all hugs the horizon. And that's the one that's going to be coming in shortly. So hot, humid. It was unbelievable, a couple of hours ago, how there wasn't a cloud in sight. And it's just going to be one of those weird days when we get some storms that come on in and cause some big time problems. Hello, hello, hello. Go back to this. There you go. All right, everybody. I'm going to get ready for the 5:30 news, but I'm going to keep this live stream up for you. We're streaming on all of our platforms. I'm going to keep it up for you with looping radar, so you can kind of keep an eye on this. We'll be on TV at 5:30, streaming on KVUE.com, on KVUE TV, and then immediately after that, we'll jump back on in. So it may be 6:05, but we'll do one of those days where I'm just with you all evening long, and we just we track this together. Sound good? All right, everybody have a good rest of the evening. We'll see you at the 5:30 newscast and then back live here in about an hour. Everybody, we are back on Facebook Live. I'm about to start our TV coverage because we do have a tornado warning that has been issued for portions of Burnett and Williamson County. That's coming with a rotating thunderstorm. Should be able to get this on our computer, our warning computer here any second. So this is a rotating thunderstorm due north of Briggs, moving to the south at 40 miles per hour. Capable of producing a tornado. We're going to join our TV audience here in about 15 minutes and then go from there. All right, everybody, we're back with a radar update. We're going to stick with this for the next several minutes, but we do have a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, and it's moving into northeastern sections of Burnett County and northwestern sections of Williamson County. This is a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is going to be due north of Briggs. This thunderstorm is moving to the south at 40 miles per hour. Along with the tornado threat with this thunderstorm, there is also the threat of this storm producing golf ball size hail and wind gust as high as 60 to 70 miles per hour. So this is a dangerous thunderstorm that is moving into the northeast corner of Burnett County. Again, the community of Briggs here, and also for the northwest corner of Williamson County. So we'll see the polygon, we'll see that red fill in here any second with that warning that has just been posted. But the tornado, or the developing tornado, would be here south of Copper's Cove and due north of Briggs. Not far from Briggs, though, probably by about 13 miles. So if you're watching me from northeastern Burnett County, the Briggs area, northwestern areas of Williamson County, it's time to get into a safe place. That's going to be the lowest floor of your home, and that's going to be a room with no windows. So here's a look at Doppler winds velocity, and what we're seeing here is that intense rotation right in here of where a tornado could be developing. This is going to be, again, moving to the due south, 35 to 40 miles per hour. And with that information, I'll do a storm track here for you. We'll do 35 miles per hour storm track of this moving to the due south, and that puts it into Briggs here at about 5:57. But if you're watching me from Briggs, it's a good idea to just head into that safe place right now because it's not just a tornado threat, it's a large hail and damaging wind threat with this thunderstorm. We will zoom out here and I'll show you what's happening over the rest of the area. And what we have is a clash of air masses, cool, dry air with a cold front, clashing with the hottest day so far of 2019. And it's not just hot today, it's humid today with heat indices exceeding 110 in some spots. So whenever you get those clashes of air masses, you are going to get severe weather. So along with that tornado warning that has now been posted for portions of northeastern Burnett, northwestern sections of Williamson County, we also have active severe thunderstorm warnings that are in effect for these thunderstorms that are moving into the city of Burnett. These are not tornadic, but could be producing 1-inch size hail along with 60-mile-per-hour winds. These are moving off towards the south-southeast, increasing now in places like Lake Buchanan, Inks Lake, Lake LBJ, and eventually will be making its way to the south to places like Marble Falls. So a lot of us are going to be impacted here for the remainder of the afternoon. This is a tornado warning that has been posted for northwestern Williamson County as well as northeastern Burnett County until 6:30. This thunderstorm moving to the south at 35 miles per hour. Locations in the warning, it's going to be the Georgetown area, especially if you live off towards the west of Georgetown. Maybe you have a Georgetown mailing address, but it's going to be off towards the west of Georgetown. And this is also going to include, again, the community of Briggs. Liberty Hill also going to be included in this warning as well. So looks like our computers have a little bit of delay getting this warning to come on in. We are scrolling, though, the information at the bottom of your screen. And what we're tracking is, again, a severe weather opportunity that includes straight line winds along with the potential for hail the size of 1 inch, if not larger than that. We're going to actually go to Chris Betts now. Chris, I'm going to restart some of these computers, and then we'll come back and loop around with some of this new data in just a moment. My computer's down like the worst time in the history. Hey, this is Albert with KVUE in Austin, Texas. I've got a tornado warning that was issued, and it is not showing up on my Max boxes nor on my crawl system. I'm on Max 1, but it's not showing up on any of them. Max 2 would be perfect. That one's available for you. Let me look at the text here. Stand by. It was issued at 5:38. 5:38. There's an additional warning for Burnett, Williamson County, issued by EWX, the Austin San Antonio Weather Service. All right, back on the air with the latest on this tornado warning that has been posted for northeastern Burnett, northwestern areas of Williamson County. So we're just going to spend a lot of time on this. I'll show you where the rotation is now that rotation is beginning to make its way into the KVUE viewing area. So that's a look at the latest warning. This is what was just posted once again from the National Weather Service, a tornado warning for the potential of a developing tornado right now, if not one already on the ground, until 6:30. And we'll zoom in and I'll show you who is included in this warning, and it's going to include again the community of Briggs, and if you live out towards western sections of Williamson County, that is going to include Liberty Hill. It's going to include Florence, even places like Sun City and Andice. If you're in that area, it's time to get to a safe place. And then extreme northeastern sections of Burnett County. Briggs also included. Let's look at Doppler winds, and Doppler winds a good indication of where the rotation is right now. And that rotation is going to be right in here, just now making its way into the KVUE viewing area out of Bell and Lampasas County into right in the extreme northern eastern sections of Burnett County. This thunderstorm, again, is moving off towards the south at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. So we'll do a storm track like this And if you're in Briggs, that thunderstorm, that rotating thunderstorm and the potential for tornado will be there in just 5 minutes. If you're in Andice at about 6:08, Liberty Hill area at about 6:22. So if you're in Briggs, you got to get to the safe spot right now, a room with no windows, lowest floor. If you live in a 2-story home, it's going to be the first floor and as center of the home as you can be. As long as it doesn't have windows, though, you're going to be good. It's going to be a closet, bathroom, pantry, as long as it's a bathroom that doesn't have windows. And again, that thunderstorm is moving off towards the south. I want to show you hail tracker, and we'll zoom out and I'll show you the rest of the area because a lot of us are going to have to deal with severe weather here this evening. This thunderstorm, again, capable of producing a tornado, also capable of producing golf ball size hail. Look at this hail core moving on in. So I hope we don't have to deal with a tornado today, but hail is big out of this thunderstorm and it's moving into those same areas, Liberty Hill, Briggs, Andice, Florence. And again, that's moving to the due south at about 35 to 40 miles per hour. And where is it going to end up? Well, eventually it's going to make its way into Travis County. So this is a thunderstorm that the city of Austin will have to watch very, very closely. We'll watch it for you. Also a thunderstorm that places like Leander and Cedar Park, the Lakeline area, Lago Vista will have to watch this one as well. And notice these thunderstorms out here in Llano and the rest of Burnett County. These are severe. We don't have rotation with these thunderstorms at the moment, but they are producing large hail, as large as golf balls, if not a little bit bigger. Hail tracker showing a very large hail core, or where the most intense hail would be in this thunderstorm, right in here in the extreme northeastern sections of Llano County. And this thunderstorm is moving off towards the southeast. So let's do a storm track on this, and we'll get the latest information from the Weather Service with this severe thunderstorm that is near Lake Buchanan right now. 60-mile-per-hour winds and the potential for golf ball size hail. This is a slow-moving thunderstorm at only 25 miles per hour. So we'll do a storm track on it, kind of moving like that. And that's going to put it, let's see, that's going to put it at Buchanan Dam here in the next 2 or 3 minutes. Kingsland at 6:08, Highland Haven at 6:19, Sunrise Beach Village at 6:20. Not a tornado threat with this particular thunderstorm, but the potential for golf ball size hail. And you saw in that last update from Hail Tracker, it could be even a little bit larger than that. So the big question is, okay, where are these thunderstorms going? Well, they're coming to the metro. They're going to impact a portion of the hill country, but they're coming into the metro. There's a look at the radar loop, and you can see how they are slowly crawling to the south-southeast right now. So if you were in Georgetown, Leander, Cedar Park, back off towards the west, Burnett to Marble Falls, the city of Austin, and even points to the south, we're going to have to deal with severe weather here within the next hour to hour and a half. Let's see what the latest tracking information on this thunderstorm, the one that may be tornadic in northwestern Williamson County, northeastern Burnett County. This one they have now moving, let's see here, to the south at 45 miles per hour. So the forward speed has picked up a little bit. We'll adjust our storm tracker and we'll put a track on it like so we can kind of figure out when this is going to reach your neighborhood. Bertram at 6:02, Liberty Hill at 6:08, Leander at 6:16, Cedar Park at 6:23, the Lakeline Mall area, so 183 and 45 area at 6:26, the Domain here in Austin at 6:32, downtown Austin at 6:45, so it'll be a little bit earlier for North Austin and Northwest Austin, the Wide Oak Hill at about 6:49, and our friends at the Circle C neighborhood at 6:53. So that thunderstorm is tornadic right now. It's not to say it's going to be tornadic the entire time, but it's a severe storm, golf ball size hail, and wind gusts as high 60, maybe even as high as 70 miles per hour possible with that thunderstorm. If we zoom out even more, if you're wondering what's going to be happening for areas east of the interstate, we have increased thunderstorm activity that's developing from Bell County into Milam County, and these thunderstorms that are developing not too far from places like Thrall and Thorndale into the south of Cameron into the southwest of Rockdale, these thunderstorms could easily turn severe over the next couple of minutes. Our atmosphere is so volatile, our atmosphere is so unstable, so hot and humid that even these little garden variety showers and thunderstorms are likely going to go 0 to 60 in short order. So that's why we do have that widespread severe weather risk now through 10 o'clock with a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock. So these are the most intense thunderstorms that are up here, and you can see the amount of lightning. We can just kind of take a look at the lightning tracker. Just with these thunderstorms coming in from the north, and just in the last 15 minutes, 2,500 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes, 2,500 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes. And just a heads up to the control room, we're going to stay on with this tornado warning. We're going to go into whatever is going to be happening at 6 p.m. just because we do have this tornado threat that is going on right now. So we'll zoom in. Let's get a new scan of where the atmosphere is rotating. And the good news is with this thunderstorm, the rotation is not nearly as strong as it was just about 10 minutes ago, right? So here's a look at where the broad rotation is now. Sometimes these thunderstorms, though, they will go through cycles. You'll have a tight rotation, they'll get weak, but then they'll get tighter again. And there's really nothing to slow these thunderstorms down in terms of strength. So wouldn't be surprised if we see this thunderstorm get stronger here over the next several minutes. But we have the rotation near Briggs, about to cross Highway 183, all right? So we've got the rotation in northeastern sections of Burnett County right in here and moving down towards the south, and we'll be crossing the North Fork of the San Gabriel River here within the next 5 to 7 minutes. If we look at the other thunderstorms, gosh, I hate to see this. This thunderstorm right out here is starting to show signs of rotation. So this is a thunderstorm that is going to be off towards the east of Llano by about 5 miles, right along the Llano River. And this is a hail-producing thunderstorm. Again, golf ball size hail in this part of the thunderstorm. But what I'm starting to see right in here is signs of some increasing rotation. So I'll take a look at, see if there's anything coming in from the Weather Service. And I'm sure they're watching this. And we'll see what the next scan has to say. But let me just do a quick little check on how strong the winds are. Yeah, so there are winds above the surface as high as about 70 miles per hour going inside of this thunderstorm. And then exiting outside of the thunderstorm, it's 40, 50 miles per hour. So you've got a tightening rotation right now with this thunderstorm that's going to be off towards the east of Llano. Where is it headed? It's moving to the southeast. So it's kind of in rural areas of Llano County. There's still people, though, that live out here. So know that if you live to the east and southeast of the city of Llano, we've got a rotating thunderstorm that could certainly turn tornadic at any point. And on its current heading, looks like the heaviest activity, the most intense rotation, would stay off towards the west of Kingsland. But we'll keep an eye on that as it moves a little bit closer into southern areas of Llano County, northern sections of Blanco County. Let's just take a look at our shear product. And what shear gives us an idea is where is the maximum amount of upward and rotating air. And you can see whenever you get these little golds start to show up, radar is picking up on that rotation that's going on with that storm. And you can tell if we just turn on Doppler winds for the Llano County storm and the one that has a tornado warning on it, this one out here in Llano County certainly is rotating a lot stronger than the one over Briggs. So the one over Briggs is starting to weaken. There's still a tornado warning on it, though. That tornado warning in effect until 6:30. But you get the idea of the kind of situation that we're headed in, both hail, damaging winds, and the possibility of rotating thunderstorms that could produce tornadoes. So we're coming up towards the 6 o'clock hour. Let's just kind of do a reset here. And I'll show you the latest radar. We'll take off the lightning so we can get a clearer. I keep getting time cues. We don't need time cues. We're going to stay on this, everybody, all right? So the control room knows we're going to stick with this for the duration of this tornado warning. So we're going to go right into the 6 o'clock hour. Temperatures right now as hot as 101 in Mason, 94 in Austin, 92 in Burnett. So it's hot, it's humid, it's unstable across the KVUE viewing area. Behind this front, it's in the 50s in parts of the panhandle, right? So you've got the clash of air masses happening right on top of us, and that's why the atmosphere is so volatile for today. I did see a new storm report come in. Let's zoom in and take a look at this. This is going to be a reported tornado with this thunderstorm a little earlier on. The time on this is at 5:28, so just 30 minutes ago. Train spotter, storm chaser spotter, was able to see a brief tornado touchdown with this thunderstorm that's now in northeastern Burnett County. This would have been northwest of Coppers Cove. So now this thunderstorm is moving down towards the south. And we'll get another check of Doppler winds. We'll take a couple of different looks at this. It's not as tight. We like to see that. We're happy that it's not as tight. We don't have that tight rotation indicative of a tornado on the ground. That's good. We'll keep an eye on it, though. But notice how this thunderstorm out here in Llano County continues to have some intense rotation. Now, the radar beam that's over Llano County is several thousand feet up, right? So you may have intense rotation in the middle part of the thunderstorm, but maybe it's not as tight at the surface, and we're hoping that is the case. Also want to take a look at just how high these thunderstorms were. It was earlier this afternoon when we had thunderstorms topping out at over 60,000 feet when they were around the Coppers Cove, the Hamilton, Texas area, which would be north of our viewing area. And right now, the thunderstorm that's around Llano is about 56,000 feet. So that is a very tall thunderstorm. The one that's in northern sections of Burnett County at about 58,000 feet, and the one that's coming in out of Lampasas and Bell County about 56,000 feet. So the height of the thunderstorm is a big teller on whether these storms are going to sustain their strength. And anytime you have thunderstorms going over really 35,000 feet, they're going to be strong. And we've got near 60,000 feet tops on these thunderstorms, and they are severe. So we're right at 6 o'clock. I'm KVUE Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon. We're preempting programming for at least a little bit longer as we continue to track multiple warnings coming in from the north. These are severe weather warnings for not just hail and damaging winds, but the threat of tornadoes. One active tornado warning continues for northeastern Burnett and northwestern Williamson County for the next several minutes. We'll investigate that thunderstorm in a second. But the reason why we're going to stick with you both here and online is that these thunderstorms will be moving in to the city of Austin. We'll do a storm track for that in a second, but that's why you've got to be weather aware over the next couple of hours, because we will see these thunderstorms come in, and with high temperatures in the upper 90s to right around 100 degrees, our atmosphere is very unstable, and there's really nothing stopping these thunderstorms. So with that, we'll do a reset on the latest warnings that are up. This is a tornado warning in effect for northeastern Burnett, northwestern sections, and western sections of Williamson County until 6:30, because we have had confirmation of a tornado that had a brief touchdown just outside of our viewing area near the Coppers Cove area. That thunderstorm is moving to the south at about 40 miles per hour, and that rotation, the most intense rotation with that thunderstorm, is right in here where green and red are kind of mixed together. It's not nearly as strong as it was just about 20 minutes ago, but the warning continues. It's going to be near Briggs, right along Highway 183. And let's kind of zoom out here, and we'll do a storm track on this one. Let's see if they've updated the forward speed with this. Give me 1 second. I'll take a look at the latest information coming on in. And the National Weather Service has this moving to the south now at 45 miles per hour. So the forward speed on this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado has gone up, now moving to the south at 45 miles per hour. Let's do a storm track on it. And those are some of the times when those storms are going to be coming on in. We're talking about Liberty Hill here in about 13 minutes. Cedar Park, Leander at about 6:22. Cedar Park at about 6:27. Lake Lane Mall now at about 6:30, so here in 28 minutes. The Arboretum in northwest Austin at 6:37. Steiner Ranch at 6:41. Downtown Austin at 6:49. So within the hour, we're going to have a severe thunderstorm move on in. Large hail damaging winds, the greatest threat with this thunderstorm, but it has had a history of rotation and has produced at least one weak tornado outside of our viewing area. So we're watching that. Oak Hill just before 7 o'clock at 6:55. So that's that thunderstorm. We'll take a look at hail tracker, and the hail size has gotten even larger. You can tell right in here how this thunderstorm is getting larger. So if you're in the Briggs area, if you're in the Florence area, if you're in Liberty Hill, this thunderstorm, even though the rotation not as strong as it was a little bit earlier on, could be producing golf ball sized hail, if not larger. So dangerous, damaging hail coming on in. All right, I'm just getting a look at some of the new information you may hear ringing in the background. That's some of our warning computers, seeing what it's got going on for us. We have a report at the Llano Municipal Airport of near 60 mile per hour wind gusts, a near 60 mile per hour wind gust with this thunderstorm that is pushing out towards the Llano County area. And look at the hail core on that one. This thunderstorm could be producing golf ball, if not baseball size hail, golf ball, if not baseball size hail, moving just a couple of miles to the east of the city of Llano and now moving off towards the southeast. This thunderstorm is a little bit slower. I'm sure we're going to see an extension of this warning here momentarily, but this is a severe thunderstorm moving to the south at 20 miles per hour. So let's do a storm track on that. We'll clean it up, take a look at a storm track with it moving to the southeast at 20. We'll kind of do this so we can kind of get an idea of where this thunderstorm is headed. And it's going to be making its way towards Sunrise Beach Village at about 6:15 and then right around 6:30 for Horseshoe Bay. So Kingsland, Horseshoe Bay, those along Inks Lake, those along Lake LBJ, Lake Marble Falls. You got to watch this severe thunderstorm. And this one also showing signs of rotation. We've been watching that over the last several minutes. We had been seeing some rotation with it right in this part of the thunderstorm as this continues to move off towards the southeast. Take a look at Doppler winds with this thunderstorm, and you can see how the rotation with that thunderstorm is getting stronger. So we may have an additional tornado warning at some point issued for this storm. This is showing some intense mid-level winds, maybe winds rotating fiercely at about 20 or 25,000 feet. Okay, that's just an update. We'll look at that in a second. That's an update on the tornado warning up in Burnett County. But anyway, this thunderstorm in Llano County bears watching over the next several minutes. Let's go to live Doppler radar once again. We'll do kind of a big perspective. For those that are watching me in Austin, southward into Hayes County, eastward into Bastrop, Caldwell, Fayette County, we're all going to have to deal with at least a threat of severe weather. That's why that severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 p.m. If you're in one of these thunderstorms and you lose power, our plan is to be on our digital channels. We should be, I'm seeing myself right now. Yeah, we are streaming right now on Facebook and Twitter and also on the KVUE News app. So we've got you covered there as these thunderstorms move on in. You can see the tremendous amount of lightning. What was it, near about 2,500 lightning strikes? Now it's closing in on 3,000 lightning strikes just in the last 15 minutes. That's an indication to me that these storms are not weakening, they're getting stronger. The more cloud to ground lightning strikes you have a stronger updraft. The ice within the clouds rubbing together, creating cloud to ground lightning strikes, and an increased amount of cloud to ground lightning strikes, an indication that these storms are getting stronger. If we were to see that number go down, maybe down to 1,000, we'd say, hey, they're slowing down. But as we talked about during the newscast, I don't foresee these thunderstorms slowing down just because of just how unstable our air mass is. So it's very possible that these storms could hold their own, if not get a little bit stronger, as they get into Austin here within the hour. Within the hour, it'll be moving into downtown Austin. There's a look at the latest temperatures right now, 94 after a high temperature of 98. And there's a look at the live scan. And let's take a look at the latest forecast model. And I haven't been showing you a lot of this because I feel like the computer simulations have not done a great job today. They have been indicating as of yesterday that we'd have at least a storm chance, but they have not done a great job picking up on this stuff that was the west of Waco, now to the south of Waco, moving into our northern hill country. So I'll just kind of zoom through this. And basically what we're doing is we're just now forecasting. That's why we have meteorologists, because the computers and the ones that run your smartphone aren't as accurate as we can be, believe it or not. And we're just now forecasting. And when I say that is we're looking at the atmospheric conditions out ahead of this front, and we're looking at the thunderstorms, how they're doing now and where they're headed. So we do have two areas of severe weather. See what that was, new severe thunderstorm warning for Llano County. And it's that for that thunderstorm that we were just talking about that's capable of producing golf ball, if not baseball size hail. Let me see what the official warning is on that one. Yeah, so they've got it near golf ball size strength on that latest warning for Llano County until 7 p.m. So those are the severe thunderstorms from Llano stretching all the way out towards the east to near Gerald, moving to the south-southeast right now. Next in line will be Marble Falls, followed by Round Mountain, Blanco. Also, the rest of Williamson County, you're going to get these thunderstorms to move on in. They're on your doorstep right now if you're in Liberty Hill. And then here within the next couple of minutes, they'll be making their way closer to Leander, Cedar Park, Round Rock, Georgetown. We'll even get some strong to severe thunderstorms to move in to the eastern sections of Williamson County, Hutto and Taylor and Granger, and out towards Milam County. And then you kind of get the idea how these storms will continue to build, continue to strengthen, and then move into Austin. So let's do a new storm track on this. This is going to be a thunderstorm, the one that's up here towards the Florence area, moving closer to Liberty Hill. This is moving to almost the due south just like that at about 40 miles per hour. And there's a look at the latest storm track. Moving into Sun City right now, moving into Georgetown, at least the downtown Georgetown, at 620, Cedar Park at 628, Round Rock at 633, the Domain at about 640, Austin Country Club at 645, downtown Austin just a few minutes before 7 p.m. So here in 40 minutes, and then Oak Hill at about 656, Bergstrom at 608, Buda at 711. and it'll be probably within the 7 o'clock hour that these thunderstorms make their way to San Marcos. It'll definitely be during the 7 o'clock hour for Kyle, and thunderstorms are also going to be impacting places like Wimberley and Wood Creek and Dripping Springs as well. So that's that one thunderstorm, which is moving a little bit faster than this one out here towards Llano County. That new warning that has just popped up is for this thunderstorm capable of producing at least ping pong size hail. I wouldn't be surprised if they're golf ball, if not a little bit bigger. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and they've got this thunderstorm moving a little bit slower. So we'll adjust our storm tracker down to 25, and we'll track this thunderstorm kind of right in here as it moves off to the southeast, so we can get a few more cities to see when these thunderstorms are going to arrive. Granite Shoals here within the next minute. Moving on in right now. Round Mountain at 6:41. The community of Sandy at 7:06. Johnson City at 7:22. And the community of Blanco at 7:45. So these are severe thunderstorms. The tornado warning continues for this portion of far western Williamson County and at least a sliver of northeastern Burnett County. This is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is a warning in effect for the next 20 minutes. We'll take a look at velocity, or where the winds are rotating, and the rotation. I'll back this up for you. Let's go all the way back to about right in here. That's at 526. And you'll see up here towards the north at 526 just how intense that rotation was as it was approaching our viewing area. So now let's kind of fast forward through time. So keep your eye on that. That's the rotation. And as you notice, the rotation has weakened. So I'm thinking they're going to allow this tornado warning to expire, which would certainly be good news. The rotation with the thunderstorm out in Llano County, now to the due south of Llano, that is still a strong rotation in the mid-levels of the atmosphere. There's still no tornado warning on it, and that's good news, but there is a severe thunderstorm warning on it. Let's get an update on hail tracker. And that thunderstorm in Llano County will work our way from west to east. The storm in Llano County is just mean. Look at that new scan on hail tracker. I'm telling you, it's going to be at least golf ball, if not baseball size hail with this thunderstorm. At least golf ball, if not baseball size hail with this thunderstorm. A couple of miles due east of Llano. You do not want to be on Texas 29 between Llano and Lake Buchanan Dam, right there on 29. You don't want to be on that road. So if you're watching me from Llano, you're watching me from out west in Mason, you were thinking about coming on east, or if you're watching from the east and wanting to go west, you just want to stay put. That is some large hail crossing Texas 29 right now. The possibility with that thunderstorm producing large hail and damaging winds. Okay, let's take a look at this new warning. This is a brand new severe thunderstorm warning just issued from the National Weather Service. This includes the entire county now of Williamson County. So let's zoom in. We'll take a look at the latest statistics with this thunderstorm. Get to live radar from Granger. We'll turn this on. So there it is. New severe thunderstorm warning just posted. This is in effect for at least the next hour until 7:15. Includes everybody in Williamson County. So if you're watching from Leander and Cedar Park to Georgetown to Round Rock to Taylor to Hutto to Granger, everyone is included in the severe thunderstorm warning as this thunderstorm is moving off towards the southwest now at 30 miles per hour. This thunderstorm, get this, capable of producing not just quarter-sized hail, but potential for wind gusts as high as 70 miles per hour. So a dangerous thunderstorm now beginning to move in to Williamson County. So here's the thunderstorm. We've got this one that had been showing some signs of rotation, some strong winds with that one. We also have these thunderstorms coming into northern sections of Williamson County. We'll take a look at velocity. We'll see if we can see some of these intense winds come on in, and they are coming in. So again, thunderstorms increasing across the Williamson County area. Everyone's got the threat of large hail the size of quarters, 1 inch in diameter, and 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts. I can't see that far. I'll step out. Albert's eyes are getting old. Okay, so we're going to change out my battery here, and then we'll continue to our coverage, but we'll do a zoomed version so you can kind of take a look at the questions, and give me 10 seconds, and I'll be right back. All right, you should hear me now. Got a fresh battery for you. So again, look at the temperatures right now, ranging from rain-cooled 75 in Llano to as hot as 100. And the reason for the severe weather threat here this evening is the clashes of air masses with a front coming in from the north. It's going to be at least 20 degrees cooler tomorrow. We're only going to be in the upper 70s and low 80s tomorrow. It's going to feel so nice. It's going to feel like October. But whenever you get a strong front, and it's strong for June standards, to run into this volatile, humid, hot atmosphere, you're going to get severe weather, and that is exactly what is going on. So let's just show you an update on where these thunderstorms are. We'll take out lightning so we can get a clearer look of where the most intense thunderstorms are right now. And let's just pause this as these thunderstorms continue to, for the most part, move off towards the south. Some are moving southeast, some are moving due south, some are moving southwest, but you get the idea. It's a line of thunderstorms developing and moving to the south. So heaviest thunderstorm activity, it's on your doorstep now in Georgetown. Sun City is getting it now. Andice is getting it. Liberty Hill, it's moving in right now. The Florence area, it's right on top of you. Heavy rainfall, potential for some large hail around Burnett. Llano, especially just east of Llano to Lake Buchanan. We've got some big time hail, gusty winds, and that thunderstorm activity is moving to the south, and we'll be moving into Austin shortly. Let's do a storm track on this activity that's moving through Williamson County right now, and we'll kind of adjust this. They have this thunderstorm moving for the most part to the south at about 30 miles per hour, so that is slowed down just a bit. So let's do a new storm track on this. That way we can have a good idea of when we expect this stuff to come on into Travis County. And I've got it moving into Georgetown, less than 5 minutes. Georgetown, less than 5 minutes, the rain will start to pick up. Potential for large hail, 1 inch in diameter, potential for 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Leander, just about 6:30, so in about 15 minutes. Round Rock at 6:37. Copeland at 6:46. Austin Executive, so that's going to also include the Pflugerville area, anywhere from about 6:45 to 6:50. Austin Country Club, right at the top of the hour, so less than 45 minutes. Downtown Austin in less than an hour, right at about 7:11. Oak Hill at 7:18. The Circuit of the Americas at 7:28. And Buda at about 7:36. And we'll continue to do a storm track for you, but if you're watching again from Kyle and San Marcos, what about us? Bastrop and Lockhart and Literally, what about us? That's all headed your direction as well. It may be closer to 8 o'clock though, all right? So we've got those intense thunderstorms that are producing just a tremendous amount of lightning. We'll lay our lightning back on here and we'll just show you how many lightning strikes we've got. And this number has gone up. So what, about 10 minutes ago, we did a lightning check. It was approaching 3,000. Now it's over 3,000. That's 3,000 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in just 15 minutes. That does not include the intracloud, the cloud-to-cloud lightning. So these are electric, very powerful thunderstorms with very powerful upward motion within these thunderstorms, what we call updrafts. And that's why there is such a hail risk with these storms right now. There's a look at the latest hail tracker, and we've got 3 hail cores. This one that's coming in to the Granger area. So if you're Granger area, we've got thunderstorms producing at least quarters, if not a little bit bigger as far as hail goes. This thunderstorm that is moving right along the Burnett and Williamson County line, this is the one that's headed right towards Liberty Hill. The size of quarters, maybe just a tad smaller. The most impressive hail core is this one that we continue to track in Llano County. Let's just get a closer look at it, because this one likely producing golf balls, if not bigger than that. I was saying golf balls, maybe even baseballs. It's possible. That's an enormous hail core, something that we haven't seen in our viewing area in a long time. But right now, the most intense part of that thunderstorm, we'll turn on live Doppler radar, is going to be right over Texas 29 and also 71. So from Llano on 29 off towards the east, Llano to the south on 71, that's where we have a very, very large hail core. It looks like it's just maybe a mile or two due east of like downtown Llano, but you definitely don't want to be on Texas 29 right now. It's terrible. What about rotation? Let's look at rotation. This is something I've been monitoring over the last half hour, because you can even see it there on Doppler winds, how there is that counterclockwise rotation. So this thunderstorm is rotating. We've got some very strong rotation in the mid-level of the atmosphere, but luckily it's not reaching to the ground, so that's good. Let me just taking a look at some of reports coming on in from the National Weather Service. Wow, so get this, everybody. There was just a couple of minutes ago at 6:12, and actually I can pop this up on your screen. This is going to be just a few minutes ago. We did get a wind gust near Lake Buchanan. Look at this, at 5:50. A wind gust with this thunderstorm of 78 miles per hour. So it's one thing for us to scan these thunderstorms with Doppler radar, and it tells us, hey, we've got some strong winds, but we have a ground report of 78 mile per hour winds. This is going to be on the western shores of Lake Buchanan. Reports of numerous trees knocked down. Let me see where that report came from. I'm just curious, maybe emergency management passed that down. Train spotter there. Train spotter reporting a near 80-mile-per-hour wind gust, again, on the western shores of Lake Buchanan just about 30 minutes ago. And now that intense thunderstorm is right in here, moving into rural areas, but there's still homes out here. There's still, people living out here, the hill country life here in Llano County, and moving its way also into southern sections of Burnett County. So this is a dangerous weather that is coming on in. They are not showing signs of slowing down. And not only is there the large hail and straight line wind threat, but we're having to watch out for the potential for some weak tornadoes to drop out of this stuff. We did get one report earlier on this evening up here towards Copper's Cove of a brief touchdown of a tornado. That thunderstorm is now moving into Liberty Hill. Still an active tornado warning with that thunderstorm, but as we've been seeing over the last several minutes, I'm just not seeing the kind of rotation that we did. This is a look at velocity. This is a look at what we call storm relative, and what it does is it shows us the winds, but it minuses the forward speed, and there still could be some rotation, but it's not nearly as strong as it was just 30 minutes ago, and that's good news. There are some intense winds just above the surface with this thunderstorm that is to the southeast of Llano. You can see there, this is the same thunderstorm that is responsible for producing a near 80-mile-per-hour wind gust on the western shores of Lake Buchanan and has brought down numerous trees, according to Storm Spotter. So gives you an idea of the kind of mess that we may have to deal with here across the metro. We've already got thunderstorm severe moving into the northern sections of the metro up in Williamson County, and here within the hour, less than an hour, probably closer to about 50 minutes, 45, 50 minutes, we're going to have these thunderstorms move on to Austin, and we'll continue to see them both intensify as far as severity goes, but also in coverage. I think we'll probably see additional thunderstorms develop on the eastern and western side of this thunderstorm complex. Because if we zoom out, and we'll take off the lightning because lightning's a little bit distracting there, you can see how just in the last hour they've kind of held their own. But let's just do the last 3 hours, and you'll see how this stuff started off pretty harmless and then kind of just grew into this complex of thunderstorms moving through Llano, Burnett, Williamson County, and closing in on Travis, Blanco, Milam County, eventually Bastrop County and Lee County. We've got some thunderstorm activity beginning to pop on up. The thunderstorm activity right here looks harmless in dime box, but just because our atmosphere is so hot and so humid, you could see these storms just like these did go from 0 to 60 in a short period of time, go from garden variety to severe in a short period of time. We do have those active warnings right now in orange. Those are severe thunderstorm warnings. In red is that tornado warning that is in effect. Here's a look at the latest watches in that Pepto-Bismol color, that pink color. That is a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 o'clock. Watch means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather. We're already seeing that. Moving to our northern sections of the viewing area. And let's just do one last little check here of the rotation with this storm, because on reflectivity, that's what you're looking here, where the rain is, how heavy is the rain. It still looks interesting. You can kind of see a little notching here, right in here. That's air or wind going inside the thunderstorm, and then air exiting the thunderstorm from this side. So that's why you do get that rotation. It's still showing that rotation, and we'll take a look at our velocity scan. Yeah, there is still at least some broad rotation with this thunderstorm right in here, and that's moving off towards the south. So we're going to keep an eye on that rotation, even if they decide to expire that tornado warning, because that's going to be moving into the Lake Travis area. Lago Vista in particular, we'll watch that for you, and then even to the south part of the lake, the Lakeway area as well, because that thunderstorm is moving on towards your area. You can see how that's moving off towards the due south. Get a check of hail tracker, should have gotten an update here, and that hail remains enormous around Llano. That thunderstorm, you get a thunderstorm to produce wind gusts near 80 miles per hour. You've got a very, very powerful thunderstorm with not just intense downdrafts, but updrafts as well. And hail tracker showing again golf ball, if not larger, out of this thunderstorm. And it's kind of in wide open spaces out here in the hill country, but it will be eventually making its way into more populated areas of the hill country. Just a couple of miles to the due west of Inks Lake, Lake LBJ, Lake Marble Falls. But if you're in Round Mountain, Johnson City, the Willow City Loop area in Gillespie County, Stonewall, the LBJ Ranch, that part of the hill country, you want to watch that thunderstorm carefully over the next hour. in an hour and a half. The hail cores that are there, they're not as pronounced though. The ones that are straddling the Burnett-Williamson County line, that's the one that's moving right into Liberty Hill right now and will eventually make its way closer to Lago Vista over about the next 20 to 30 minutes. And then this thunderstorm activity, we haven't really investigated this one all that much, so let's come and take a look. This is the one that's about to pass right over the radar out around Lake Granger. You can see it moving on in right now to Granger, and maybe just below 1 inch size hail. Could be nickel size hail with that thunderstorm that's coming on in. We'll get a live scan. Let's turn on the Doppler radar from that GRK, which is the Granger radar, and that's a pretty intense thunderstorm. And this thunderstorm is still showing signs of rotating. This warning, that tornado warning, remains in effect until 6:30. So we'll see what the Weather Service decides to do. If they decide to discontinue it, I'm going to send you to programming at about 6:30, and then we'll definitely come back once these thunderstorms get a little bit closer to Georgetown and Austin. And of course, we'll be staying with you on the digital side all evening long. We're on Facebook Live right now. I got nearly 500 people watching, so we've got you covered. But we may, allow you to go back on the TV side here in about 4 minutes. We'll see what the National Weather Service does with that. Let me take a look at some other information. So, okay, so there are reports of at least funnel clouds being reported near Leander. I'm just kind of reading these carefully to pass them on to you. So getting reports of a funnel cloud from this thunderstorm that we're tracking right here. Most likely probably from Leander looking up towards the north and back up towards the northwest. So we're going to stay on the air because we do have a newly issued tornado warning that looks like they're going to extend it until 7 p.m. Just because there are indications from the National Weather Service that there is enough rotation with this thunderstorm to come on in. So you'll see the, actually it's a completely different storm. So okay, this is a brand new tornado warning. This one is going to be for eastern sections of Williamson County. Eastern sections of Williamson County. So who's included? Taylor, you're included. Let's see, Taylor and Thrall, both included in this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado. This is a thunderstorm that we were watching just a couple of minutes ago. I didn't see a whole lot of rotation a few minutes ago, but we'll look at the live radar scan in just a second. But new tornado warning in effect for southeastern Williamson County until 7 o'clock at 6:25. So 2 minutes ago, National Weather Service was watching a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located near Taylor and moving to the southeast at 30 miles per hour. So let's take a look at our Doppler winds with this one. Wow, and they're just in the last, we were looking at this less than 5 minutes ago, and look at that latest scan of the intense winds there in yellow. So let's see if we see any kind of intense rotation with this. We'll kind of clean this up with our shear product, and my goodness, we've got some very, very rapidly rotating winds right in here. This is going to be to the north of Taylor and to the south of Granger near FM 1331. Okay, so they've got this thunderstorm that is positioned to the north of Taylor, and it's moving off towards the southeast, moving off to the southeast at 30 miles per hour. So let's do a storm track on this, and I'll adjust my forward speed to 30 miles per hour, kind of where the most intense rotation is. We'll kind of do it to the southeast like so. So if you are in Waterloo, Taylor, we need to get you to your safe spot immediately. There is enough indication using technology, there's enough rotation in the atmosphere that you got to get to your safe spot. And if you're just now joining us, what do I mean by a safe spot? Lowest floor. You live in a 2-story home, you got to be on the first floor. As long as you're on the first floor and in a room with no windows, you're going to be fine. It's going to be a closet, a pantry, a bathroom. As long as it's a bathroom that doesn't have any windows. No garage, right? No big room, no living room with a lot of windows. That's where you want to get in right now. So enough evidence on Doppler radar of a potential tornado developing now, if not one already on the ground, due north of Taylor. So if you're watching me from Taylor, it's time to get to your safe spot. If you're planning on doing some traveling between Round Rock and Rockdale, there along 79, don't do it. No one should be on 79, especially around Taylor, as this rotating thunderstorm comes on in. Along with a tornado threat, we also have an increasing hail threat. Thunderstorm could be producing hail, look at that just popping up, hail the size of quarters, if not a little bit larger than that. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Looks like we got a new tornado warning. They're going to continue the tornado warning for this one that we've been tracking since the last hour. This is a newly issued tornado warning that now includes northwestern sections of Travis County until 7:15. So just our floor, Nate, in the control room, we're going to stay with us. We got tornado warnings now moving into the metro, so we're going to stay with us. We're going to preempt programming because this is important stuff, everybody. New tornado warning in effect until 7:15. We did get some reports of a funnel cloud that was located near Liberty Hill. Funnel cloud that was located near Liberty Hill with this thunderstorm. Let's go to our velocity winds and we'll take a look at it. And we still see that rotation kind of right in here. So we did get that report of Liberty Hill, probably someone in Liberty Hill looking off towards the due west. Saw enough evidence that it was a funnel. Again, a funnel doesn't mean a tornado. You actually have to have debris being picked up to be considered a tornado. But we do have a report of a funnel cloud right in here. Let me turn on our, maybe we can get this to overlay, see if the National Weather Service has put it on storm reports yet. They haven't just yet. So that's a look at the hook that we have. You have strong winds coming in of this thunderstorm like this, strong winds coming out, and it's going to be a tornado moving in, a potential tornado moving in to the extreme northwest corner of Travis County. So if there's a tornado, it's going to be right in there. It's going to be south of Bertram, and this is going to be just about 3 or 4 miles to the due west of Liberty Hill. And this one, they have it moving off towards the south. So we don't want to forget everybody, but we've got 2 active tornado warnings right now. One that is approaching Taylor from the north, one approaching the extreme northwest corner of Travis County from the north. This is a potential tornado that is going to be south of Liberty Hill. A report of a funnel cloud with that one, moving a little bit closer to Lago Vista. So Lago Vista, you're also included in this tornado warning. So let's kind of spend a little bit more time on both of these. We'll bounce back and forth. That way everyone knows what is happening. We'll lay the statistics there for you. We'll first look at this one that's out here towards the western, this is going to be eastern sections of Williamson County. This one is until 7 o'clock, and they've got this thunderstorm moving to the east at 30 miles per hour. So let's do a storm track on this one first, and then we'll do a storm track on that one in just a second. So let's do it right in here, moving kind of like that to the southeast. Taylor, it is on your doorstep. Taylor, you've got to get to a safe place right now. If you are watching from Taylor, there's no time to look outside, see if you see anything. You just get to your safe spot. As long as you're in a room with no windows, you're going to be A-okay, all right? The reason why you want to be in a room with no windows is if you get winds, even if it's a straight line wind, 60, 70 plus miles per hour, tree branch comes down, some kind of debris comes down, breaks out a window, you get cut up. So as long as you're in a place of your home, first floor, as many walls between you and the outside, you're going to be good. So that's one tornado warning. The other tornado warning that we're tracking right now, this one a little bit more impressive as far as the radar goes, and this is the one that we have a ground report of a funnel cloud spotted near Liberty Hill. This is a tornado warning in effect until 7:15. This one includes Hudson Bend, Jonestown, Lago Vista, Leander, and Liberty Hill. All right, so let's do a storm track on this. And they've got this one that is moving off towards the south as well. We get a new updated speed on this one, moving to the south at 30 miles per hour. So we've got both of these thunderstorms at the same speed. So that makes it a little easier to track. So this one moving off towards the south at 30 miles per hour. It's going to be in Lago Vista at 6:54, Lente at 6:58, and right at 7 o'clock in Hudson Bend. If you're watching me from the north shores of Lake Travis, you got to start thinking about your safe spot. You're under the warning. You've got a couple of minutes, but you start thinking, okay, where am I going to go? I don't want to go here, want to go there. No garage, right? No big room with a lot of windows, no windows, and you'll be good. Lowest floor. You live in a multi-story home, you want to be on that first floor. So this one is showing signs of ramping up, showing signs of getting a little bit stronger as far as rotation goes. This is what I'm looking at right here. In the red and in the yellow, you've got winds moving away from the radar, and in green, you've got winds moving towards the radar. So you get this rotation. So let me just do it like that. So you get that rotation right in there, kind of straddling the Burnett and Williamson County line as that one is moving off towards the due south. So you can kind of get an idea of maybe where this potential tornado is going to go. And it's going to be passing very close to Lago Vista. And if you live out here towards the west of Lago Vista, let's see if we can get some streets to pop on up so you can kind of get a better idea. So pretty rural areas of of Travis County that this is moving on into. There's still some homes out there. We still want to make sure everyone knows what's happening. So we're talking about south of Texas 29 and very close, if not just about a half mile or a mile to the east on FM 1174. I want to look at one thing here. This is something that we use in the background called correlation coefficient. It can kind of give me a heads up if there is debris being lofted, and I'm not seeing that, but that is a very tight rotation in the atmosphere right in here. It's kind of where Burnett, Williamson, and Travis County meet, right? You got this right in here. So let me get my little arrow so you can see right in here. This is where we have some very, very intense rotation with this thunderstorm that's moving off towards the south. Just to kind of pan to the south just a bit, and I'll zoom in to get a few more roads on here. People that I think need to get into a safe spot. This is going to be Cow Creek Road, that area, and also FM 1431. So that part of northwestern Travis County. 1431, northwestern Travis County, that's headed towards your direction, okay? So if you're around Lago Vista, or you live just off towards the west of Lago Vista, out here towards the lake, wanting to get ready to get to your safe spot. So that's tornado warning number 1. Let's come on back to tornado warning number 2 and see if we have any new information with this one. Now, this one is super close to the Doppler radar, so we're going to be able to see not only if there's debris being lofted or lifted upward or some really intense rotation. So this is the one that is in effect for eastern Williamson County until 7 o'clock. Here's a look at Doppler winds. And if it's not a tornado, it's straight line winds. I mean, you can see the yellow there. We're talking about the potential for wind gusts as high as 60, maybe even higher than that, everybody, coming into Williamson County. So it's not just a tornado threat, it's a severe weather threat that's moving on in. I will tell you, though, I'm not seeing intense signs of a whole lot of rotation, at least on the velocity display. Kind of looking there. There is some rotation north of Taylor still coming in from the south of Taylor, but not as pronounced as the one that's moving into northwestern Travis County. So there's a look at the storm track. We've got rotation moving into Taylor next 2 minutes. Taylor, even though it doesn't look as strong as the one out in northwestern Travis County, I still want you in your safe spot. If you're still looking out the window or outside, everyone needs to come inside in a room with no window, center of the house. Okay? Copeland, the same thing. You start to get to your safe spot right now because we do have an active tornado warning for you. This one, my goodness, this is a violent thunderstorm. You can see the rotation has increased. This is the same thunderstorm. This is the one that's moving into northwestern Travis County that did produce at least a brief touchdown of a tornado around Copper's Cove, just outside of our viewing area, and reports of a funnel cloud near Leander. And still getting reports of at least some lowering in the clouds or a bit of a funnel. If we can take graphics full for a second, I'm going to sneak off camera and grab a drink of water so I can continue this coverage for you. But we are right now at 6:37, and you can see how these thunderstorms are moving down towards the south. So we'll do a storm track for Austin in a second, but I can almost guarantee you we're going to have rough weather come on in to Austin. And Carly is our director. And Carly, if you can help me out and bring up Cam 22 downtown camera, I've got that looking from downtown up towards the north whenever you get a chance. All right, here it is, everybody. And there's that increasing severe thunderstorm that is moving into areas of Williamson County right now. We'll pan this off towards the northwest, and that's going to be way out in the distance. That's going to be that tornadic storm that's just now beginning to make its way into northwestern sections of Travis County. And Carly, I don't know if this is easy for you, but if you can go to WX5 whenever you get a chance, and that's going to be our Oasis camera on WX5. And that's something that I'm going to want to keep an eye on here over the next 30 minutes as well. And all is quiet right now out at the Oasis. And for those that are watching on the digital side, I've got it popped up for you, but we'll get it on TV here in a second. But we are going to be watching that camera as well as this tornadic storm is moving a little bit closer now into the northwestern sections of Travis County. So for those that are just now jumping on in, wondering why I'm ruining your Sunday evening plans, we have a very active severe weather event ongoing, and it's only going to go up in intensity for the city of Austin as these storms move on in. We're coming up towards 6:39, and we've got thunderstorms that are moving down towards the south. And those thunderstorms are coming in with three main threats: large hail, damaging winds,
and quick spin up tornadoes. Right now we are watching now 3 tornado warnings. A new tornado warning has just been posted, and this is the one that's going to be, and here, bring it in the background, this is going to be for southern sections of Llano County. This is a brand new one that has just been posted. This is a tornado warning in effect until 7:15. This is going to be crossing Sandy Creek any second now. The National Weather Service has this one moving off towards the south at 20 miles per hour. This one could be producing golf ball size hail, along with some very strong wind gusts and, of course, the potential for tornadoes. So this is that same thunderstorm that we were tracking over 30 minutes ago that I was saying was showing signs of rotation in the mid-levels of the thunderstorm. And the National Weather Service did decide to issue that warning. So this right now is going to be near Sandy Creek, if not just the south of Sandy Creek, in southern areas of Llano County, and making its way into the northwestern sections of Blanco County. Okay, so this is a thunderstorm that we want to watch if you live to the west of Round Mountain or to the northwest and west of Johnson City, because eventually this thunderstorm is going to be crossing the Pedernales River as well as Highway 290 here in the next 30 to 40 minutes. So that's tornado warning number 1. Let's come on and take a look at tornado warning number 2. And this is the one that is getting a little bit closer to Lago Vista. This is still well north of Lago Vista, but Lago Vista, you're included in this tornado warning. And let me show what we're looking at here. This is where we're seeing a tightening of rotation right in here. Let's kind of see a storm track, or at least the last couple of minutes. So it looks like it's drifting a little more south-southwest. You can kind of see it's moving south-southwest like so. So we're going to keep an eye on this one. This is a rotating thunderstorm that has had the history of producing a tornado north of our viewing area, and a couple of reports of funnel clouds with this storm. This one is going to be making its way over Lake Travis, not too far from Spicewood. So if you are in the Spicewood area, maybe you've been cooling down out around Krause Springs this afternoon, that is a thunderstorm that's kind of headed towards your direction as it is straddling now the Burnett and Travis County line and moving off towards the south. We need a storm track on this one. Continues to move off towards the south, kind of south-southwest at the moment at about 30 miles per hour, and going mainly over rural areas of extreme eastern Burnett County and extreme western sections of Travis County. So that's tornado number 2. Here's a look at tornado warning number 3. We'll get you the statistics here first. So this is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado near the community of Taylor right now. This thunderstorm also moving to the south at 30 miles per hour. This thunderstorm, just got this report in, this thunderstorm has a history of producing golf ball size hail just a few minutes ago at 6:16. Well, I guess almost about 30 minutes ago. So either way, this thunderstorm has had the history of producing golf ball size hail, and this one is also moving off towards almost the due south. So if you're in Taylor, you want to remain in your safe place. If you're in Taylor, you're not in a safe spot, a room with no windows, that's where you want to be. No mobile homes, no cars, as this thunderstorm is still ramping up. It's still rotating. And let's see if we're seeing anything interesting. It's very messy on that one. See if we see anything on our shear product. And our shear product, that kind of cleans up the velocity, cleans up the Doppler winds, and shows me where the most intense rotating winds are. And it's going to be right over, if not just a couple of miles to the north of Taylor. So Taylor, got to get to your safe spot right now. It's still a very violently rotating thunderstorm. This thunderstorm also moving off towards the east at about 30 miles per hour. And there's a look at some locations. Copeland at 6:55. Elgin just after 7 o'clock, maybe about 7:10, as we keep an eye on that thunderstorm. And we haven't talked a lot about our friends in Bastrop County, but Bastrop and Travis County, this activity is all headed in your direction. All right. Oh, I'm sorry. You're trying to get Oasis camera? I'll pop that up for you. So there you go. Debix 5 has Oasis camera on it. That is a thunderstorm that is coming on in. The right side of your screen would be the severe thunderstorm that's approaching Lago Vista and out towards the western portion of the lake. So we'll keep an eye on that. And then off towards the east, kind of the far left side of your screen, that would be Mansfield Dam Park. So we'll keep an eye on that thunderstorm as well. Back to Doppler radar, and we'll get you updated on all the different warnings and watches that are in place right now. And we've got a very active weather pattern as we have a clash of air masses. Go back to Max 1 or double box, Carly. We'll take a look at that. These thunderstorms are developing as we have cool, dry air behind the front, And you know how hot and humid it was yesterday, and it continues to be here this Sunday. That hot, humid air, it's all just kind of coming together and allowing these thunderstorms to just literally explode. That's why earlier we saw thunderstorm tops over 50,000 feet, even as high as 60 to 63,000 feet that are coming on in. 644. All right, so this is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning for Lee and Bastrop County. So that has just popped up on your screen. So I'm working solo today, everybody. So I'm working the radar and working all of our different sources over here. But here's that new severe thunderstorm warning that has just popped up. If we can go to max 1 on that's max 3, max 1, and we'll get the latest information on the new severe thunderstorm warning that has popped up. So Carly, it looks like we're still on a different computer there. You're on max 3. If we can go to max 1. So this is going to be a new severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45. This is a thunderstorm that is capable of producing large hail along with damaging winds, moving to the south at 30 miles per hour. So this is the one that's coming out of eastern sections of Williamson County. Golf ball size hail and 70-mile-per-hour winds possible with that thunderstorm. There you go. There's a look at max 1. So that's a look at the latest warning that has just been posted. This does include the city of Bastrop, also includes Cedar Creek, Elgin, Camp Swift, you're included, also includes at least western sections of Lee County. Page, you're included, just outside of Giddings, just outside of Lincoln and Lexington, you're included as well. This is a severe thunderstorm warning. With this thunderstorm that we continue to track a tornado warning on, large hail damaging winds possible with that one. So we want to cover all of these tornado warnings equally. So we'll go back to Doppler winds. I'll show you what we've got right now with the latest winds, the latest rotating winds that are going on. We'll turn on our warnings here. We'll turn that off, and we'll turn on our velocity mode so we can get a check on it. So here is the tornado warning that is now moving into the extreme northwestern sections of Blanco County. This is where we have some rotation kind of right in here. Just to kind of get your bearings straight, I'll zoom out just a little bit. This is going to be well south of Llano and moving south of Llano, but it's going to be moving between Stonewall and Johnson City. So if you're right around the 290 area there in Blanco or far eastern Gillespie County and you live north of there, this is an area that you want to watch very carefully. And this thunderstorm that we've been tracking the last several minutes that has had a tornado warning on it for now over an hour is continuing to show signs of intense rotation as it makes its way near Lago Vista. If you live Lago Vista and points to the west, right along the lake, we've got intense rotation for you. That's why that tornado warning is in effect. And there you see on the Doppler winds, I'll slow this down, you can see that counterclockwise rotation. You can see how this mesocyclone, this supercell thunderstorm, is rotating, and that's why there is that tornado. You see that? That's why that tornado warning remains in effect for this one. We'll take a look at some other products with this. And again, the most intense rotation is just going to be a couple of miles to the due west of Lago Vista. This one's moving to the south. So Spicewood and Hamilton Pool, you want to watch this one carefully. We'll do a storm track on this one, kind of where the most intense rotation is. Dripping Springs, we're also watching this one for you as we head into the next hour. But Briarcliff at 6:51, Hamilton Pool at just after the 7 o'clock hour, and Dripping at about 7:21. This is a rotating thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado, along with a tornado threat. Large hail, I'm getting confirmed reports now of golf ball size hail with thunderstorms in Llano. Egg size hail, 2-inch diameter hail reported along with large tree limbs down in Serenada there in Williamson County. So it's one thing to look at these thunderstorms on radar. It is another to see what is happening on the ground, and we're getting those reports from storm spotters that there is a damage, wind damage, and there are also some very large hailstones coming in on out of that. So again, 3 tornado warnings. We talked about the one that's moving out of Llano County and moving into, for the most part, extreme northwestern sections of Blanco County. We've got the one that's moving to the due west of Lago Vista. And now we've got this thunderstorm, of course, that we've been tracking that's been over Taylor. I know if you're in Taylor, you've been watching this as well. Let's go to Doppler winds, and we'll kind of do a look at this. And we've got some just intense winds coming in with this thunderstorm. So if you're a Taylor or Hutto and now moving into Pflugerville, it's not just a potential for a tornado threat in the southeast corner of Williamson County, but I'm getting indications on Doppler radar of near 90-mile-per-hour winds above the surface, and that's certainly mixing down to 60, if not 70 miles per hour at the surface. So again, that's going to be near Hutto, and that's going to be making its way into Pflugerville. Pflugerville had to deal with that rough thunderstorm late last week, and that thunderstorm is headed towards you right now. We'll take a look at hail tracker. Large hail core moving over Taylor and now to the south of Taylor, about to cross 79. That hail core also will be making its way closer to Seal, the community of Seal, as well as Pflugerville here over the next several minutes. This thunderstorm that is pushing out of the extreme southeastern tip of Williamson County, this one right here, and moving into far western sections of Lee County and then much of Bastrop County. This one capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds along with 1-inch diameter hail. So there's a look at the latest radar display as far as winds go, and you can see there's a scale on the left side of your screen. Can we take this full, Carly? Max 1 full. You see the scale on the left side of your screen. Anytime you start to see yellows on Doppler winds, that's 60-plus mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, granted, that's going to be above the surface, but Doppler radar indicating 85 to 90-mile-per-hour winds above the surface, and you could certainly get 60 to 70, if not 80-mile-per-hour wind gusts to mix on down to the surface. So damaging winds moving in now to Pflugerville, damaging winds moving in now to Hutto, and also moving into northeast Austin. So now we're probably going to see our first warning any minute now, everybody. Next couple of seconds, I'm sure, that will include the city of Austin. So that's going to be from a damaging wind threat. Out here towards the west and northwest of Austin, we've got this thunderstorm. This is the one that's still showing signs of rotation. Kind of right in here, this is going to be off towards the due west of Lago Vista. And along with the tornado threat, remember we were talking about, look for the yellows. These yellows, we've got wind gust here, 60-plus miles per hour. Not too far from Marble Falls, that's showing wind gusts of around 60 to 65 above the surface. So gusting to 50 to 60 at the ground. And the same thing coming to Lago Vista right now. And these thunderstorms will be coming on into Austin here shortly, in the next couple of minutes. Let's just get another check on and you see how impressive they are here in the turquoise, these intense winds that are crossing Texas 71 right now. The other warning that we're watching is this one. This is a tornado warning that is in the northwest corner of Blanco County. And if you saw there on Doppler winds, there is some broad rotation where green meets red. It's not nearly as strong as it was, though. So it looks like, just based on the radar display from all these thunderstorms, it looks like this is pivoting from less of a tornado threat, which you think, hey, that's great, but more into a straight line wind event. And we talked about last night during the news, and we talked about earlier today on Facebook Live and online how today damaging winds would be the main threat, and that is starting to be the case. So I'm hopeful that these tornado warnings get discontinued soon, but I just don't want you to think it's just a tornado threat. Straight line winds of 60, 70, even 80 miles per hour can do just as much damage, more widespread damage than a weak tornado, all right? Yes, we've had reports of funnel clouds, and we still have that active tornado warning in effect, but these thunderstorms are coming in with a lot of wind, and they're going to impact a lot of us. And you want to almost treat these thunderstorms like you would a tornado warning, just because we're getting indications on Doppler radar of 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts, if not even higher. We had a confirmed report on the western shores of Lake Buchanan of a 76 to 78 mile per hour wind gusts with that thunderstorm that's now to the south of you. So you want to treat this a situation where you want to just be in a room once these thunderstorms start to ramp up that doesn't have any windows. As long as you're in a room with no windows, you're going to be just fine. Okay, so our Storm Chaser is up, and whenever you want to bring that up, I'd love to see it. Storm Chaser is headed towards the Taylor area, and if you're communicating with them, they may be watching me from the Storm Chaser. I wouldn't go too far from Austin because these severe storms will be coming on in, and the most aggressive thunderstorm that I see right now is coming into northwest Austin. So there's a look at our Storm Chaser on the road. We're going to be keeping an eye on what's going on, and this particular news crew not only giving us an idea, ground reports of what's happening, but they'll be also covering what's going to be behind the storms as far as if there's any damage. I hope we don't have anything like that, but just based on the Doppler radar, it seems like we're going to get at least a little bit of something. All right, back to Max 1. We'll go back to Doppler winds here, and let's just kind of get you an update on what's going on. And we'll kind of clean this up, and we'll look at what we call shear, a shear product. And this can kind of give us an idea of where the most intense rotating winds are right now. And let's get rid of the warnings at the moment. That way we can get a real clean look at this. And we do have some rotating winds with these thunderstorms that are now moving out of southeastern sections of Williamson County into the northwest corner and northeast corner, both corners of Travis County. So we're watching this thunderstorm coming in from Taylor, and we're also watching these thunderstorms coming in to the northern shores of Lake Travis. We still have that active tornado warning in effect. I'll take off lightning so we can get a closer look. And they have trimmed that tornado warning a bit. Let's get the latest information from that. They just issued some new information on this one, the National Weather Service. So they still have this tornado warning in effect until 7:15, and it includes Lago Vista, especially if you live off towards the west of Lago Vista and around the Jonestown area as well. National Weather Service here in the last minute saying that at 6:53, a severe squall line capable of producing both tornadoes and extensive straight line winds was located near Lago Vista, or 14 miles southwest of Cedar Park, moving south at 45 miles per hour. So this one has picked up some speed, and they've got this one again moving off towards the southwest. So you can see the thunderstorms that are moving on in. We'll do a storm track on this with that new forward speed moving at 45 miles per hour. Let's do a storm track just like that. And that's got it moving into Valente here in just the next minute. Moving in right now. Briarcliff at around the top of the hour. Hudson Bend just around the top of the hour as well. Lakeway just after 7. Hamilton Pool at 7:06. Bee Cave at 7:08. And 7:15 at Fitzhugh. So that is a severe thunderstorm at the moment, capable of producing a tornado. Doppler winds still showing rotation, but also intense winds. Look at these winds in yellow from near Marble Falls to where 281 and 71 intersect in southern areas of Burnett County, all the way into northwestern sections of Travis County. And then this one moving into northeastern sections of Travis County. Wind gusts there, 60 plus miles per hour. So just awful thunderstorms coming in. Straight line winds and hail, the main concern. There's a look at the latest information when it comes to temperatures. We'll get a refresh of these temperatures any second now. Will likely be rain cooled in Georgetown. You can see rain cooled 70s in both Llano and also in Burnett. We're still sitting at 91 though in Austin. So our atmosphere is just as violent as it has been. So even though the temperature's cooled about 8 degrees in Austin, with this cloud cover coming in, the sun beginning to set, our atmosphere is primed. And that's why a lot of us here in the city of Austin, including the downtown area, South Austin, we're going to have to deal with severe weather. Okay. Everybody, it is coming up towards the 7 p.m. hour. I'm KVUE Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Albert Ramon. We're going to go right through the next hour as we have intense thunderstorms coming in. We have 3 threats right now: straight line damaging winds, 60, 70 miles per hour, if not higher. We've had ground reports out to the west of Lake Buchanan as high as 76 to 78 miles per hour. Hail is also a threat. Hail the size of quarters, if not the size of golf balls, if not a little bit bigger than that. We've had several reports of anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inch diameter hail with these thunderstorms coming in from the north. We also have and have had multiple tornado warnings. I don't have any damage report to tell you. That's the good news. But we have had a lot of rotation out of these thunderstorms. The National Weather Service here in the last 3 minutes, they've continued that tornado warning that is in effect for the Burnett, Travis County area. So that would be northwestern Travis County. And they're saying that thunderstorm capable of producing not just a tornado, but even on a larger scale, straight line winds of up to 60, potentially even 70 miles per hour. We do have a storm chaser that is reporting rotation near Hutto at 6:53, and it's just a lowering. So we're going to keep an eye on that as well. We do have a flash flood warning that has just been posted until 10 o'clock for Llano County. So along with the severe weather threat, hail, wind, tornadoes, it's also just intense rainfall too. And we may see ourselves here in Travis County in the city of Austin under a flash flood warning at some point this evening as well. So here's a look at the amount of lightning that we have had, and we continue to kind of check on this, every 20 minutes, and this number has not gone down. Just in the last 15 minutes, over 3,000 cloud ground lightning strikes, and lightning is a great indication if thunderstorms are getting weaker, and guess what? They're not, unfortunately. So let's, now that we head towards the top of the hour, let's get just a check of all the warnings that we have right now, and there's a lot of them. We'll start with this one that is in extreme southeastern Burnett County, extreme northwestern sections of Travis County. This is a tornado warning for the potential of a tornado on the ground right now between Lago Vista and the extreme southeastern sections of Burnett County, not too far from Spicewood. Along with a tornado threat, straight line winds, 60, 70 miles per hour will be possible. We'll turn on our velocity scan, and this is Doppler winds telling us that there could be winds around Lago Vista, above Lago Vista by a couple of thousand feet, 60 to 70 miles per hour, mixing down to at least 60, 65 miles per hour, may be conservative, but these are straight line winds coming on in. Could bring down trees, could bring down all kinds of stuff, hanging baskets, any kind of lawn furniture. If you got a trampoline, this kind of wind that can take it like a sail and move it on out towards the south. We are, let me just say this, we're on TV right now, but we're also on all of our digital platforms, the app, KVUE.com, Facebook, and Twitter. A lot of you, because we're going to have intense winds, we'll lose power. We're going to have a lot of people without power later this evening. So what you can do right now, especially if you're in the city of Austin where the storms haven't made us to us yet, is make sure your phone is charged up, and that will give you enough juice that you'll be able to stay in tune with me, because again, we're streaming on all of our digital platforms, and we'll do that for the duration of this severe weather event. Also, coming into Travis County right now, we've got this thunderstorm that is also producing a tremendous amount of wind. You're looking at Doppler winds right now, and anytime you start to see those yellows, those are wind gusts right around, if not above, 60 miles per hour. So I'm just kind of querying some of this wind right here. So we're getting anywhere from 50 to 65 mile per hour winds just above the surface, moving in to the northeastern sections of Travis County and moving into northeast Austin right now. So that is all moving into downtown. We've got thunderstorms that are just increasing across Travis County right now. There's a look at the latest Doppler radar scan, and there's a look at the latest warning. We talked about how these straight line winds are converging over Travis County, and just issued, this one was just posted seconds ago. This is a new severe thunderstorm warning. It includes all of the city of Austin, a new severe thunderstorm warning, all of the city of Austin, portions of Hayes County, portions of Bastrop, and even northern sections of Caldwell County until 8 o'clock. This is coming in with the potential of 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch diameter hail. So straight line winds and a hail threat with this thunderstorm coming into downtown. Let's do a storm track on this. That way maybe we can plan this out for you. They've got this thunderstorm moving off towards the south at 30 miles per hour. So I'll adjust my storm tracker here. Hang with me, and we'll plot this for you. These storms have been ranging in speed from 25 to as high as 45 miles per hour. This one right at 30 miles per hour, and we'll do a storm track for you. This is moving into the domain right now. This is moving into Austin Country Club at 7:10, Camp Mabry at 7:14, downtown Austin at 7:21, Oak Hill at 7:26, Cedar Creek at 7:32, the Circuit of the Americas at 7:39, Driftwood at 7:40, Buda at 7:46, and Mountain City at 7:52. Again, this is a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60 mile per hour winds and 1 inch size hail. Carly, our wonderful director in the booth, let's do a camera tour. And first, if you can start with WX5. WX5 is going to be our Oasis camera. And this is about the creepiest looking cloud I've ever seen. And hang on a second. For those that are watching on digital, you're looking at it now. We'll get it popped up on the TV side here. And look at that. That is from the Oasis that's looking off towards the west. That's that severe thunderstorm that's moving in right now. And look how ominous that looks right now coming on in. I may be able to switch some of these sources, Carly, on my own. Let's see if I can do that for you. If you want to go back to WX1, Max 1, and let me see if I can get that going on here. So again, that's a look at the Oasis camera. I'm going to switch this to downtown camera, and that's that severe thunderstorm that's coming into downtown right now. I'm going to swing this camera around and look to the due north. It's kind of looking off towards the northwest, but this is going to be an interesting camera to look at over the next several minutes as these severe storms come on in. And we should be able to, Cam 24 should be able to pull up our roof camera. I've got that on my side, and we'll look at that. We're in North Austin here, Mopac and Steck, and we've got the winds picking up here just outside the station, Mopac and Steck, and we should have the rain coming down in buckets any minute now here at the KVUE studios. So I'm going to point this also to the due north, and we'll get a look at it as this thunderstorm comes on in here over the next several minutes. So everybody, this is a severe weather event that we haven't had to deal with all spring. Today, featuring the worst of the ingredients that we've seen all spring long. We were the hottest temperature so far this year today, topping out at 98. Here in Austin, we had triple digits over parts of the area. So you have extremely hot, extremely humid, extremely unstable air. We also have a rare strong cold front moving into Texas. I'll zoom out, I'll show you, just so you can kind of get an idea of why this is so important, why we're sticking with you with this. It's in the 60s in the Panhandle, it'll be in the 50s pretty soon. This is rare for this time of the year. If you're new to the Austin area, we're just hot in June. This is a rare, strong front coming in that will make things about 20 degrees cooler for highs tomorrow. So you learn in elementary school, when you have the mix of air masses, hot and humid, coming off the Gulf of Mexico, cool and dry, coming in from the north, you are going to get severe weather. And that's why we do have those active watches and warnings in place. And not only do we have the ingredients in place, instability and moisture and that lift with that front, but we have a veering of wind, a turning of wind with height. And that's why we do have some active tornado warnings right now. Thankfully, the tornado warning that was in effect for northwestern areas of Travis County and also extreme southeastern areas of Williamson County, those have been discontinued. So as we talked about, 15 minutes ago, how we're now pivoting from that tornado threat to just a straight line wind event. We're going to have several areas with downed trees. And when the trees start to come down, at least tree limbs, you're going to have power out. So that's what a lot of us are going to have to deal with. You can see the active warnings. And if you're in orange, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning right now from just outside of Giddings, Lexington, and Lincoln to Bastrop to Austin to Buda to Dripping Springs to Blanco to Johnson City, out towards the west now into the Fredericksburg area. Straight line winds and large hail are two main concerns. We do have one active tornado warning in effect. It's for rural areas of extreme northwestern sections of Blanco County. So we'll zoom in and we'll investigate this one. I haven't seen as much in evidence of rotation with this thunderstorm, so that's good, but it is still straight line winds. It's still super strong winds. The latest information on this one, and this warning will most likely be able to expire, at least the tornado warning, here in about 11 minutes. But they've got this thunderstorm moving off towards the south at 25 miles per hour. With this thunderstorm, not just a potential for a tornado, but even golf ball size hail. So let's look at hail tracker. It's been a minute since we've looked at that. And these thunderstorms have not really lost a whole lot of steam. South of Llano along Texas 16, we've got hail the size of golf balls possible. Anytime you start to see a hail tracker start to show those deeper purples, that is golf ball size hail. Here in Austin, we do have a hail core that's moving through northeastern areas of Travis County. This is going to be passing between Manor and Elgin, right along 290. Could be nickel to quarter size hail, so 1 inch size hail possible. Also have a brand new hail core developing and moving into northern sections of Bastrop County near McDade. So McDade along 290, Elgin and McDade, we've got a hail core moving into you. And Bastrop, the city of Bastrop, you're going to have to deal with hail, but also some gusty winds. Let's take a look at the velocity scan. Oh, my apologies for those that are watching on our digital channel. I didn't switch over to the other one. Hopefully we took PCR. Well, I guess we haven't. So if the digital team is watching, if we can take PCR 1, that is our programming on the digital side, that would be very helpful. Thank you. That way I can have my Oasis camera up. There you look at Doppler winds. This is giving me an indication of where the most intense winds with these thunderstorms are. These intense thunderstorms are moving off towards the south and approaching Austin right now. These thunderstorms capable of producing at least 60 mile per hour winds. Anytime you see those yellows and oranges, those are intense winds. Right now we have intense winds moving through places like Manor and Pflugerville, moving into north and northeast Austin. We've also got the possibility of hail the size of 1 inch coming on in. There's some of the intense winds coming into the north side of Austin, right over Lake Travis as well. There's a look at the Doppler radar that's right over areas of Lake Travis around Lakeway and Lago Vista. The tornado warning that was in effect for parts of the hill country and the one that was out towards the west, that is now being allowed to expire, and it's now a straight line wind. Okay, so straight line wind, not rotating wind, but strong winds going outward. There's kind of another view of the Doppler winds that are coming on in. So let's take a look at a live scan of Doppler radar. Again, no active tornado warnings right now, but several severe thunderstorm warnings. That's what you see there in orange. The red that you see, the little polygon in red, that's going to disappear here in the next couple of minutes. That has been discontinued, canceled. But this is a straight line wind problem across our area that's moving on in. Let's get a check of lightning. Not only is this coming in with wind and hail, but a lot of lightning. And just in the last 15 minutes, about 3,133 cloud to ground lightning strikes with this thunderstorm activity. So this is very electric thunderstorms that are rolling in to Austin right now. Carly, if you want to pop up the cameras, and actually it may be easier for me just to do it on my side, just to kind of route them in. Let's see what we got here. Again, this is going to be in North Austin. We should be rocking and rolling here in North Austin as far as wind and rain goes any minute. Look at these creepy clouds coming on in. Straight line winds are our biggest concern with these storms that are coming in. The wind's already picking up outside, and we'll get a check of our downtown camera. Downtown Austin, there is the look of the thunderstorms out in the distance. This is from downtown looking to the due north right now. Kind of scoot that back off towards the northwest. Maybe focus this right over the capital as these thunderstorms come in here over the next several minutes. And you can see the winds are already picking up there. So let's do a radar check. Just keeping an eye on all the different warnings that are coming on in. Only other warning other than severe weather is that flash flood warning in effect for much of Llano County. There's just been so much rainfall, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see additional flash flood warnings come on in. So again, Llano County under a flash flood warning. This is in effect until 10 o'clock. 1 inch of rain has already fallen in parts of Llano County, and they're going to be keeping an eye on that, especially for areas that are low water crossings. So we'll zoom in and we'll show you Doppler radar for Austin, and we've got the rain picking up now, moving into North Austin. We've got the rain moving closer to Lake Travis. It's pouring right now at Lake Travis. The rain just now picking up around Lakeway. We've got thunderstorm activity that is continuing out towards the west from there. Let's just get a check of Doppler winds, getting a little bit of a hook signature there. That's the same thunderstorm that we have been tracking since our 5:30 newscast. We preempted the 5:30 newscast with severe weather coverage. This is the same thunderstorm, and it's still showing a hook. Not seeing anything super strong as far as rotation goes, but we got to keep an eye on that one because it has had at least the history of producing a tornado. Let me zoom back out because we did get a new storm report. This is a storm report from near Manor of 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Earlier this evening, we did have wind gusts as high as 75 to 78 miles per hour on the western shore of Lake Buchanan. And those are the look at the latest severe weather reports that we've gotten in, just probably the first of many. And here's the one near Manor, just in the last couple of minutes of a 50-mile-per-hour wind gust there. Did have reports to the north of Georgetown of a 2-inch diameter hail, reports of large tree limbs down here about an hour ago, and south of Bartlett into the north of Taylor report of hail about golf ball size, and out towards the hill country. We've got a couple of reports coming in. The one that is to the due west of Lake Buchanan, there you see it at 5:50. This thunderstorm now in Blanco County, but that thunderstorm did produce a near 80-mile-per-hour wind gust, 78-mile-per-hour wind gust with that thunderstorm. And now those storms are headed into Austin right now and will be coming in with wind and hail. Let's take a look at hail tracker. The good news, at least if you're in downtown, there's no real big hail headed our way. There could be some small hail. For us here in downtown and kind of Austin proper, our main concern is going to be straight line winds. But take a look at the hail core that continues to strengthen and develop, passing over Highway 290 between Manor and Elgin right now. That is a thunderstorm that is producing at least 1-inch diameter hail, the size of quarters, if not getting close to golf ball size with that thunderstorm. That one is moving off towards the south, and we'll do a whole storm track on this too. It's been kind of a second since we've done that. And again, that's a pretty large severe thunderstorm warning with these thunderstorms that are moving to the due south at 30 miles per hour. So I'll adjust my storm tracker here and kind of like that, moving to the south. Maybe we'll get San Marcos in the mix. There you go. So moving into Austin as we speak, moving to Austin right now. Oak Hill at 7:23, Dripping Springs at 7:28, Cedar Creek at 7:32, Buda at 7:43, The Wood Creek area and Wimberley area between about 7:50, 7:55, somewhere in that time frame. Our friends in Kyle watching in Hayes County, it gets to you just before 8 o'clock. Lockhart, now Caldwell County, you're going to have to deal with these thunderstorms as we head into the next hour here in about 45 minutes. And San Marcos, southern areas of Hayes County at about 8:32 with that thunderstorm moving to the due south at 30 miles per hour. So most of us are going to have to deal with severe weather here this evening. If you're watching me from Fayette County, we haven't had a whole lot of activity. We haven't had any. We don't see a whole lot building to the north of you, but I have a feeling as this boundary gets closer to you, we likely will see additional thunderstorm activity fire for you. But you can see how this entire line is going to be impacting about 90% of us here for tonight. The good news is behind the system, we'll have some lingering showers, but our atmosphere will become more stable. It won't be as volatile after this thunderstorm line pushes down. We'll have some passing showers in the overnight, and there's no severe weather expected tomorrow or Tuesday, just about a 30% chance of rain and highs in the upper 70s and the low 80s, which is going to feel so nice. Let's get a check of our current temperatures. And the reason why we're looking at this is it kind of gives me an idea of where still the most volatile air mass is. Bastrop at 95 right now, and as of the top of the hour, we were still at 91 in Austin. Carly, if you can do me a favor and take WX5, if you will. This is going to be Oasis camera, and the Oasis is rocking and rolling with that severe storm coming on in. You can see the heavy rainfall. Just kind of taking a peek to see if we see any hail maybe come on down, and we'll also come back and take a look at our roof camera because I can hear the rain outside the studios beginning to pop up a little bit. That's a look at our downtown camera shaking. That's going to be interesting to look at here in about 10 minutes. Let me go to our roof camera. Oop, wrong one. Stand by, everybody. We'll take a look at that. Oh, it's up. Okay, cool. Thank you for doing that. There's a look at our roof camera with the thunderstorms coming into Austin. You can see that green color. Anytime you see that green color, there's probably there's ice in those clouds. So we're going to have to watch out for some hail with this thunderstorm that's coming on in. I'll kind of pivot this. I've got control of our roof camera here from the Storm Center, and we're looking due north up towards the domain, and that's looking kind of more off towards the west-northwest as these thunderstorms are now moving on in. And if you are in central Austin, the rain's picking up now. If you're in South Austin, you don't have a whole lot going on at the moment, but these same thunderstorms are going to be headed towards your direction. Here are the most things that I'm concerned about with these thunderstorms coming in. Straight line damaging winds. That is a high threat. We're seeing evidence on Doppler radar. We're getting ground reports, 60+ mile-per-hour gusts embedded in this squall line, embedded in this thunderstorm activity. So damaging winds is my number one threat. Secondary threat, but it's still elevated, will be thunderstorms producing large hail the size of quarters, if not golf balls. Luckily, at the moment, the stuff coming into Austin doesn't look to be producing too much hail. And it's not zero, but it's there, like we've seen over the last about 2 hours, a chance of isolated tornadoes. And at the moment, the flash flood threat is low. We'll see if these thunderstorms can kind of scoot on out of here a little bit faster and avoid the flash flood threat. But at this point, the flood threat is low. There's again another view from our roof camera here at KVUE, and then we'll be keeping an eye on the camera from downtown as these thunderstorms come on in. It's just going to be a rough about 2 hours. Here in Austin, especially the first hour with these thunderstorms coming in with so much rain and so much lightning and gusty winds. So let's kind of work our way from west to east. Make sure that everyone watching across the viewing area knows what's going on. It's been a while since we've had to track widespread severe weather like this. It's been a long time. Right now, a severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Llano, for extreme southern areas of Llano County and much of Gillespie County. This does include the community of Fredericksburg and also our friends watching out in western Gillespie County at Harper. This is a severe thunderstorm that is moving off towards the south at 25 miles per hour. Main threat is going to be damaging winds 60 miles per hour and quarter-size hail. Here's a look at the other warning we're watching. This is a severe thunderstorm warning in effect until 7:30. This will likely be extended to the south and extended in time. Blanco, portions of Blanco, Burnett, Hayes, at least western sections of Travis County included in this warning. This thunderstorm is moving off towards the south at about 35 miles per hour. So Blanco, Dripping Springs, Wimberley, Wood Creek, this is a storm that's headed towards you. Damaging winds, 1-inch size hail possible. All right, for the city of Austin, this is a thunderstorm that's moving in right now. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that extends all the way into portions of Hays County. Buda, you're included. Driftwood, you're included. Mustang Ridge, Creedmoor, you're included. Bastrop, Cedar Creek, Elgin, we're all included. Austin, South Austin, no matter where you live in Austin, you're included in this warning. This is a thunderstorm that's moving to the south at 30 miles per hour. The threat with this one, the primary threat is going to be straight line winds of 60 miles per hour and hail the size of quarters. And the other warning that we have, it's out here towards our eastern counties, Bastrop and at least portions of Lee County. You know, Lee County, you may be A-OK from this. There's not a whole lot of action going Lexington, Lincoln, Giddings, but there's some heavy rain as well as some intense thunderstorms that are producing the potential of 60-mile-per-hour winds moving into Bastrop County, McDade, Elgin, Camp Swift, getting a lot closer to downtown Bastrop and a lot closer to Cedar Creek right now. If you're in Rosanke or Smithville, we'll watch these thunderstorms, but maybe the heavy stuff just stays to the north now and eventually to the west. So I'm going to do the exact same thing, but let's take a look at Doppler winds, because Doppler winds is important for us to look at, because it's not just showing me where the most intense straight line winds are, but if there's any kind of rotation out of this stuff. And I don't see any rotation, but what is concerning is the amount of wind that is right along the Colorado River in far eastern Travis County into Bastrop County. Anytime you see these yellows like that, that is some intense wind. So I'll just kind of take a sample of some of the wind speeds here. And I saw 68-mile-per-hour gust. That's going to be above the surface, but you know, that's 50 to 60 miles per hour coming on in. So that's intense winds coming in to that portion, western sections of Bastrop County and our friends out around Weberville and Garfield. Maybe not as intense, but still 50+ mile-per-hour wind gusts. Occasionally maybe as high as 60 from Austin out towards western sections of Travis County. And we got a new warning I want to tell you about in a second. Actually, let's just look at this is from the Granger radar. That's why it changes colors like that. It's from different radar sites. So I'm just kind of curious what the thunderstorm activity is. Not too far from the Oasis, so not as bad. All right, we can deal with that. I'm looking at the Oasis camera on one of my monitors. It's just stormy out there. It doesn't look like super heavy winds. And then out in the hill country, strongest winds now pushing through Blanco, the community of Blanco, right along the Blanco River, and not too far away from Wimberley here in the next 10-15 minutes. You'll notice the winds there in Wimberley and Wood Creek picking up shortly. And then Hays County, all these storms that you see up here towards the north, it's all headed towards you. That's a look at Doppler winds. There's a look at Doppler radar, more traditional look, and that's a mean squall line that's coming on in. Okay, so the new warning that we have posted for you, and I will clean this up so you can get a better look at it, is a new flash flood warning. This is a flash flood warning that is in effect for all of Travis County because of the heavy rain that's moving on in. Low water crossing issues, everybody. You know the same ones that always have trouble. Low water crossing issues. It's going to be one of those evenings of turn around, don't drown. You know the drill. Don't drive through flooded roadways. And even as the heavy stuff passes to the south of Austin here within the hour, we're going to have residual problems all evening long. So National Weather Service has this flash flood warning for Travis County in effect until 10:15. This is a thunderstorm that has already produced a good heavy amount of rainfall, up to 2 inches in some spots of Travis County already, and could produce an additional 2. So already 2 has fallen over parts of Travis County, probably northern, northwestern portions of Travis County. Another 2 is possible. So avoid low water crossings, and it's going to be busy all night long, even when these storms move on to the south of us. We've got the flash flood threat. Let's do a reset, and I'll show you where all the warnings are right now. In orange, those are severe thunderstorm warnings. We kind of went through each of them just a second ago. Main concern right now, straight line winds, large hail, but winds being the main threat. 60+ mile-per-hour wind gusts. We've got the flash flood warning also in effect for Travis County. Llano County, you're under a flash flood warning as well, so you want to avoid the low water crossings and really avoid them everywhere, area-wide. These 2 flash flood warnings may be just the first of many that are coming on in. All right, so it's been a couple of minutes since we've checked on our live cameras. Let's just get another look here as these thunderstorms come on in, and we'll zoom out this picture. We can see this severe storm coming into Austin, and there you see kind of that ominous wall of rain coming in from the north, and the wind will be picking up momentarily here in Austin as well. You get that greenish color, you get ice in these thunderstorms, allows for that green looking sky. May have some really big hail aloft or lifted up in the thunderstorm, but maybe not super big as it comes to the ground after high temperatures in the upper 90s. That's fine. You know, you may have up in the thunderstorm cloud large hail, but then it begins to melt as it gets a little bit closer to the surface. So that's again our downtown camera. I'll load here our roof camera here at KVUE. I can hear the thunderstorm rolling on in right now. There's our roof camera. We're near Mopac and Steck. And it's interesting to look at, but I'm also kind of interested to see how strong the winds are outside. And, you know, we probably got 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. It's not super, super heavy here in North Austin. That's the lows right there on Shoal Creek Boulevard. And if you're watching me from Central Austin, South Austin, where it's not busy just yet, you just give it a second. It's coming on in. And with rain-cooled air, 91 at the top of the hour, but we certainly have cooled from there. It's 73 in Georgetown, 92 in Giddings, 72 in rain-cooled in Llano as a front is moving through the area. The severe weather threat is going to be with us for the remainder of the evening. A severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 10 p.m. I have a feeling, though, that much of the metro and counties northward will be trimmed out of this watch once this severe line passes on through. So don't expect severe weather area-wide through 10 o'clock. We may still have some severe storms south of Austin, portions of Caldwell, maybe even Fayette County, even though there's not a whole lot going on there, but maybe even Fayette County and points southward, kind of along, if not just north and south of I-10, could have some lingering severe weather issues as late as 10 o'clock. But these thunderstorms will kind of move to the south and stabilize our atmosphere a little bit, which would be good. So here's a look at the latest lightning strikes, and notice the lightning is up from the last time we checked, and the indication of that is that these thunderstorms are getting even stronger, probably accounting for an intense amount of cloud to ground lightning strikes over northern Bastrop County and moving into northern sections of Gillespie County. Just an electrified thunderstorm that is coming in. Hail tracker, let's get back to hail tracker, and we'll work our way from east to west. And we've got some large hail developing in northern sections of Bastrop County. So interesting to see the correlation between an increased amount of cloud around lightning and the size of hailstones, right? So you can see hail beginning to make its way a little bit closer to Bastrop, especially if you live maybe along 71 off towards the due west of Bastrop. As you get towards the 21 split, you get a hail core headed towards you, the size of quarters. As far as hail goes with that one. Also have this hail core that's developing from Elgin southward. This is the one that can eventually make its way into Cedar Creek. And there's a look at the radar loop of those hailstones coming on in. It's just really heavy rainfall and gusty winds, potentially as high as 60 miles per hour moving through Travis County. There's no hail, at least on the latest scan of Hail Tracker, other than maybe some tiny stuff. You know, pea size, little dime size hail, but nothing severe. This is mainly a wind event. We'll come back and look at Doppler winds in just a second. And at this point, I don't see anything rotating, so that's good news. Here's a look at a hail core that is developing near Dripping Springs. This is going to be passing 290 between the 281 exit and Dripping Springs, kind of in extreme western northwestern sections of Hayes County. This one's moving to the due south, so may get a little bit of hail if you live off towards the west. Dripping Springs, the size of nickels, if not quarters. Wood Creek and Wimberley will watch this one for you as well. If you got some friends or family that are maybe hanging out at Canyon Lake, cooling off, give them a heads up that thunderstorm is headed their direction. Also, and here's a look at the hail cores that continue to develop out west in the rest of the hill country. We've got hail possible not too far from Enchanted Rock. I hope nobody's at Enchanted Rock right now, you know what I mean, with all this lightning. And there's a look at the hail core right along 16 between Llano and Fredericksburg, and that's going to continue to make its way closer to the Willow City Loop and eventually to Fredericksburg. Stonewall and the LBG Ranch kind of in this part of Gillespie County, and some very large hail developing to the north and northwest of Harper, hoping this thunderstorm that may be producing as large as golf ball size hail, let me get this into a frame here, maybe as large as golf ball size hail to the due west of Harper, just outside of Gillespie County. Hopefully that just stays to the west of you, but we'll watch that for our friends out in Harper. And also the northern sections or the far western sections of the Pedernales River. Okay, back to these thunderstorms out here in Bastrop County. We'll turn on Doppler winds, and this is what we're going to do for you, everybody, here on TV and on the digital side. And we'll say it again if you're just now tuning in. Make sure your phone is charged, your tablet's charged, your laptop or whatever. We are streaming on all of our platforms to make sure that you know what is happening. So if you lose power, which I think a lot of us may lose power with these strong winds coming in, you'll be able to stay connected with us. So why do I think a lot of people may lose power? because we just have intense winds right now that are coming on in. Let's take a look at Doppler winds between Bastrop and Garfield, and we'll do a sampling of some of these pixels. So Doppler radar just doesn't tell me where the rain is falling, but you know how fast those raindrops are flying. And just outside of Bastrop, right near the 71 and 21 split to the west of Bastrop, I'm getting a sample of winds as high as 74 miles per hour above the surface where the radar beam is sampling that air. But at the surface, 60+ mile-per-hour winds certainly possible. So again, those thunderstorms, you can see them, they're moving off towards the south. So Cedar Creek, they're on your doorstep right now. Rosanke and Red Rock, Blankman, they're all headed towards you. And then as we take a look at Travis County, the reason why you see the colors changing, it's I'm switching between the different radars between New Braunfels and Granger. We're looking at the Granger radar here. Here's a look at the intense winds that are coming into Travis County. Some of the most intense winds are around 290. Just off towards the west of Oak Hill. So we're getting 50, maybe as high as 60 mile-per-hour winds with some of this activity that's coming in to Austin. And then if we position our radar out towards the west, this is the one that we've been watching for rotation. I don't see any more rotation out of it, but still wind gusts maybe in the 40 to 50 mile-per-hour wind gusts in parts of Hayes County, a little bit more intense winds, kind of right in here if you live around the Circle C neighborhood and southward from there. A lot of new neighborhoods right in here popping on up. And then in the hill country, getting some broad rotation with this thunderstorm right here to the north of Fredericksburg. So we're going to have to watch that closely. You see a little bit of a notching going on. A little bit of a notch going on right in here. So you got winds coming in, inflow, outflow on this rear flank downdraft, and you can get some rotation. And like we've seen a little bit earlier on, you can get a tornado warning out of it. So again, that's going to be north of Fredericksburg. If you're Fredericksburg to Willow City to Stonewall, LBJ Ranch area of Gillespie County, let's watch that thunderstorm over the next several minutes, getting a little bit of rotation, at least in the mid sections of the thunderstorm. If that gets a little bit tighter, may get a tornado warning out of it like we saw a little bit earlier on. So that's another reason why I'm just kind of sticking with you on TV, is just how volatile the atmosphere is, that you can not just get straight line winds, but quick spin up tornadoes. And I think it's just better for me to just be with you. Just every scan, we'll keep an eye on it and able to tell you exactly what's happening minute by minute. It is just storming like crazy outside the KVUE studios. This is a look at our live camera right now. Let me turn on the wiper to see what we're looking at. So this is going to be looking off towards the west, and I'll zoom this out a little bit that way we can kind of get our bearings straight. But looks like the worst of the storm may be pushing now to the south of us. So let me load our downtown camera, and I bet you it's starting to really pick up downtown. There you go. So here's a look at our downtown camera with the heavy rain coming in. Not super windy though, so that's good. And you saw in Doppler winds, it looked like maybe the most intense winds were staying west of downtown into the east of downtown, east into eastern sections of Travis County into Bastrop County, and then out towards southwestern sections of Hayes County. Of course, not everyone lives downtown, I know that, but at least we're A-OK downtown. It's those other sections that we're keeping an eye, and that's why I'm on TV with you, make sure that you know what's happening. So it's some pretty intense rain coming in. I'm going to spin this camera and we'll look off towards the southeast, see if we see any kind of lowering. We'll kind of stick with this for a second. That's looking up towards the northwest from downtown. Mopac would be kind of in the foreground. That's looking almost due west now. And then this is coming around to the southwest. See all the new condos right around Lady Bird Lake. And it is a stormy Sunday evening. After the hottest temperatures recorded so far for 2019, we didn't have a cloud in the sky earlier this afternoon, and now we have severe storms working through the area, and it's because of that sunshine, and it's because of the heat while we're dealing with these severe thunderstorms that are coming on in. So let's go back to Doppler radar, and we'll get a new scan on all of this. And I got to tell you, the weakest of the thunderstorms is right over downtown. We do have a camera out. That's our storm chaser. Any idea where the storm chaser is right now?
Any idea? Heading to Lake Buchanan.
Okay, so it's headed out towards the west, towards Lake Buchanan, where we had wind gusts around 76 miles per hour. We'll pop that up whenever we get it. At least our friends on TV are being able to see it right now. So they're on now the backside of all this thunderstorm action, and it appears they're on 45. Yeah, they're on the 45 toll, it looks like, and about to get on 183. So things are quieting down in that part of Williamson County. Back to Doppler radar, and if you are in South Austin, if you are in Southeast Austin, if you're out around Creedmoor or Mustang Ridge, now it's starting to pick up for you. Look at this thunderstorm coming on in, and you're seeing a little bit of a bowing going on with it. Anytime you see it bow like this, like the bow of a bow and arrow, you've got some intense winds coming on in with these thunderstorms. We'll turn on Doppler winds, and there you go. That has changed just in the last couple of scans. We get some really intense winds around the Circle C area, kind of where Mopac ends, and then you get out here towards Driftwood. We got these winds starting to pick up for you. So we'll zoom in here, and I'll get kind of a sample of how fast these raindrops are flying. And Doppler radar is saying, hey, they're as fast as 73 miles per hour, a couple of thousand feet above the surface. So that's mixing down to anywhere from 55 to 65 miles per hour. That's damaging winds right now. And we'll loop it, and you'll see how those straight line winds have been coming out of Williamson County through the western sections of Travis County and now moving into Hayes County. And those will continue to make their way down towards the south. So Driftwood, Kyle, Buda, Wimberley, even San Marcos, those winds are headed a little bit closer to you. So we're going to be watching those straight line winds. If you are watching me from San Marcos or Kyle or Wimberley, we don't really have warnings posted for you yet, but that's going to change. I guarantee you any minute now, you're going to see that orange extend more down towards the south. So now Hayes County is starting to get in on the action from this stuff. Want to investigate this thunderstorm that's out in western sections of Hayes County. This is going to be to the due west of Wimberley, and getting a little bit of a notching going on. Again, those little notches kind of give me an indication if we've got some winds that are quickly moving inside the thunderstorm, but I'm not getting any kind of intense rotation. We'll take a look at our shear product and maybe some broad rotation, but nothing super strong. This is the same thunderstorm, the same supercell thunderstorm. The reason why we started our coverage during the 5:30 newscast, it came out of the Lampasas and Bell County area, had a tornado warning on it, and we were tracking it coming in with tornado warnings in portions of Burnett and Williamson County and sections of even Travis County, western section of Travis County. And you can see on the radar loop, and I'll slow it down for you, that counterclockwise spin. So that thunderstorm is still rotating. Big old mesocyclone, big old thunderstorm just kind of rotating, and we'll continue to watch it for any kind of rotation reaching the ground, because that's something else that we're keeping an eye on, the threat for additional tornado warnings. The other little notching I saw that we looked at a couple of minutes ago was this one that was near Fredericksburg. Let me see if it's still doing it. And you can see how that one is even rotating almost clockwise, anticyclonic. That's interesting. We saw something like that late last week coming to Austin, anticyclonic, which is rare. Doesn't really mean anything other than it's rare and it's interesting to talk about from a meteorology standpoint. But let's talk about things that matter to you. And there you still see broad rotation coming into Fredericksburg. So no tornado warning out for this one, but Fredericksburg, we're watching this for you. Still some broad rotation. For tornadoes, you want tight rotation. We're okay with broad. It's just an indication that it's still a very strong thunderstorm. And look at the hail core that continues to develop. The blues and the purples showing hail the size of nickels, if not 1 inch, the size of quarters, coming in a little bit closer to central areas of Gillespie County. So we'll watch that. This hail core out here, that has really started to come together. This is that one that we were watching for some broad rotation right on the Hayes and Blanco County line. This is moving off towards the south. And let me get a storm track on this one, and then we'll talk about that new warning that was just posted. You saw pop on your screen. This is a severe thunderstorm moving so slow to the south at 25 miles per hour. So we'll do a storm track on this this particular storm. And again, there's some large hail with this storm that's moving down towards the south, moving into Blanco now. Blanco, it's coming in now. The hail core, though, is a few miles to the east of the city of Blanco. Kind of right along the Blanco River, though. And then Canyon Lake at about 8:02. Large hail damaging winds possible with that particular thunderstorm. Still nothing really all that pronounced on the hail tracker over Austin. The size of dimes possible out here towards West Austin, around Mopac and 360 south of the Pennybacker Bridge, but nothing severe. And Bastrop, look at the hail core that has developed over you. I'm keeping an eye on as much as I can. I got about 15 computer screens that I'm trying to keep an eye on, but I'm keeping an eye on your comments here, and this is perfect. Jordan Walker is telling me on Facebook Live that you've got some large hail falling in Bastrop right now. potentially as large as golf ball size. So that jives with our radar. So hail is coming down. Got a confirmed report from Jordan Walker, and she's watching on our live stream on the Facebook page. And if you want to type in a question there, I'll try to get to that as much as possible. So that's the two biggest hail cores that we have on the radar right now. The one over Bastrop County, that one is headed towards the south. So Rosanke, watch out, here it comes. And if you even live out here towards Dell in eastern sections of Caldwell County, that one's headed towards you. And this hail core is mean as it straddles the Blanco and Hayes County line. This is going to be well off towards the west of Kyle and Buda. You're not included with this one. This hail core is going to be making its way closer to Canyon Lake, and we also have some hail the size of nickels, if not quarters, coming into the Fredericksburg area. Now, along with the hail threat, I think a little bit more of a threat, widespread threat at least, is the straight line winds. So let's go back and get a check of the winds here. You can see the bluish colors, the turquoise colors. Those are going to be winds capable of as high as 60 miles per hour coming on in out of southwest and south areas of Travis County into Hayes County. So Buda, the winds are probably picking up as we speak, with the most intense winds just a few miles to the due west of Buda and moving into the Driftwood area as well. Let me see if I can pop up Driftwood on our map. So yeah, we've got those intense winds coming into that part of Hayes County. Doppler radar indicating wind gusts potentially as high as 60, if not 70. This one's showing even 80 miles per hour. Keep in mind, that's where the radar beam is sampling the wind, so it'll be a few thousand feet up, but at the surface, 60, 65, if not 70 mile per hour wind gusts will be possible with this thunderstorm. That's certainly strong enough to bring down limbs, knock out power. Be interested to see how many power outages we're going to get out of this event. And that thunderstorm is moving off towards the south as well. So let's do a storm track on this one just because it is producing just a crazy amount of wind. And the latest information from the National Weather Service has this moving to the south. Wow, they have a forward speed on this of 60 miles per hour. That is just unreal. 60 mile per hour wind gusts with that, 60 mile per hour forward speed with that thunderstorm that's coming through the Buda area right now. So we'll do a storm track for you, and I'll adjust my speed. That's the fastest moving thunderstorm that we've had all day. So kind of right in there, moving down to the south. We've got it moving into Kyle right now. Next 2 minutes, going to really pick up in Kyle. Wimberley at about 7:45. Hewlin at about 7:46. The San Marcos area around 7:50. Our friends in Martindale, be ready for this one, 7:53. Wind gust 60 plus on this one. And then this thunderstorm gets closer to Redwood at 7:56. So this is the severe thunderstorm capable of producing 60 plus mile per hour wind gusts. We'll look at hail tracker again, and the hail core is kind of displaced from where the strongest winds are. The hail core is out here, kind of right over the Blanco River between the community of Blanco and Wood Creek and Wimberley, and that's moving down towards the south again, closer to Canyon Lake. Maybe some small hail, size of dimes, from downtown southward into South Austin along I-35. I-35 as far south as Slaughter and approaching the 45 exit, and then some intense hail with this thunderstorm that's over Bastrop. That one's moving down towards the south and moving a little bit closer to Rosanke. So let's take a look at some of this wind from Austin out towards the east. The reason why you see, again, the colors change, we're just trying to use the closest radar, and we get to bob between two of them. We're lucky that our area is able to have access to two Doppler radars. So you get these turquoise colors here. So 50 to potentially as high as 60 mile per hour winds, but you can see how the winds are not nearly as strong as the ones that are moving out of southwestern Travis and into northern sections of Hayes County. And then the thunderstorm activity out here towards the west still have that spin. You can see that. You see this, how it's looping here over the last hour, that counterclockwise spin. So this thunderstorm is still rotating. Got a little bit of rotation right here where red meets green. Let's take a look at Doppler radar here, and we'll clean it up without lightning. Yeah, so we'll have to keep an eye on this thunderstorm showing some broad rotation, and if it gets any tighter, we may have to keep an eye on the potential for maybe another tornado warning, but this will be pushing into northern sections of Comal County in less than 10 minutes. And then the thunderstorms out here towards the west, heavy rainfall, hail. There's a look at Doppler winds, nothing too tight on the Doppler scan. as far as tornadic activity goes. Got a little bit of rotation over Fredericksburg. Let me just get a closer look at that. Broad rotation though, right? So we can deal with broad. We don't like tight rotation. Tight rotation may lead to a tornado warning, but it's broad rotation. And we'll look at hail tracker for Fredericksburg. And Fredericksburg, the rain's picking up now, and you'll get a little bit of hail. I'm thinking probably nickel, maybe as large as quarter, but nickels as far as hail goes for you. Okay, Williamson County. I got some questions on Facebook Live here. Williamson County, are we in the clear? Teresa's watching from Round Rock. Yeah, so you're good. The severe weather threat has come to an end for Williamson County. If we zoom out the radar, we'll turn on our kind of multi-radar scan. You can see there's nothing coming in from the north of you other than some showers. So your atmosphere has stabilized in a big way, and we'll see if the latest forecast models have kind of caught up on what's going on, and it's showing how that activity continues through 10 o'clock, and then maybe some lingering thunderstorms through midnight out west, and then we're pretty quiet in the overnight, and with just a few passing showers for tomorrow. So yeah, if you are in Round Rock, the only thing I want you to watch out for the remainder of the evening are low water crossings. You had some pretty good rainfall up there, like the rest of the area, especially in the western sections of Williamson County. But you're good. Much of Burnett County, you're good now too. Milam County, you're looking in good shape. We haven't had a whole lot in Lee or Fayette County. We're going to keep an eye on the radar for you, but the heaviest activity has remained out towards the west. So we're just kind of bouncing between all these storms because our atmosphere is so unstable and so volatile, and we've got rotation. We're just kind of keeping an eye on these supercells with every scan. Let's just kind of spend a few seconds here on the Bastrop County storm, producing about 604 cloud-to-ground lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes. There's a look at the hail core, Bastrop southward. Bastrop southward, still the potential for large hail. Had a report from a viewer watching Facebook Live of hailstones as large as golf balls. So we've got a lot of hail with this thunderstorm. Rosanke, watch out. At this point, looks like the heaviest and the largest hail may stay just a few miles to the west of Smithville. So we'll watch that one eventually pass out of the viewing area here over the next hour. Now, this thunderstorm that's moving through Travis County is mainly just moderate to heavy downpours at the moment. Here in North Austin at the KVUE studios, it's a solid moderate rain. We've got a flash flood warning in effect for Travis County, but the most intense part of this thunderstorm is right on the leading edge. It's right now moving through now Hays County and about to move into northern sections of Caldwell County. So right in here, some pretty intense winds. There's a look at Doppler winds, and those winds have gotten even higher. You can see that blue, see the turquoise and blue? Those are wind gusts 60 plus coming on into Buda, 60 plus coming into Kyle, moving in closer to San Marcos. So straight line winds coming on in. Let's zoom in and we'll take a sample of how fast these raindrops are flying, because I bet you they're even higher now, maybe closing in over 70. That's showing 78 mile per hour wind gusts above the surface by a few thousand feet, not far from Buda. What I just sampled, let me point to you, is right here. So at the surface, that may be mixing down to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So we've got damaging winds, Buda approaching Kyle, out towards the west, closer to Hays City and Driftwood, kind of right in this blue. Doppler radar indicating some intense winds. I'm going to turn on Storm Relative. This is another product we use. It takes out the forward speed. We know this storm is hooking it. It is not playing around. It's going south at 60 miles per hour. So what I'm looking at here, it takes out that forward speed. But even with that, we're still getting samples of near 70 mile per hour wind gusts. So intense winds with this thunderstorm. We'll do another storm track on it. We'll turn on the Doppler radar, again moving to the south at 60. Just unreal how fast that thunderstorm is moving. Moving almost to the due south. Niederwald at 747, Ullin at 750, San Marcos at 753. So here in the next, 5 minutes. Reedville at 754, Maxwell at 755, and then Redwood at 758, just around 8 o'clock for Hunter, right there in Comal County. So that is a thunderstorm. The main concern with it that's moving through Hays County and headed towards San Marcos, and will push through portions of Caldwell County, especially western Caldwell County. The main concern for you is going to be straight line winds. We'll take a look at hail tracker. Hail still very large, the size of quarters, if not a little bit larger, but it's going to be out here towards the west of Wimberley, and that's going to be moving closer to Canyon Lake. Had a question about what about Stonewall? Don't want to forget our friends around Stonewall and the LBJ Ranch. We've got rain moving in right now. Hail the size of dimes or nickels coming in. We'll take a look at velocity, and nothing really all that strong. I mean, you could have some wind gusts in here coming into Stonewall and the eastern sections of Gillespie County around 40 miles per hour, but nothing too strong. Let's take a look at the Doppler radar out over Fredericksburg and Harper, and just heavy rainfall, but the winds are not super strong as far as straight line, but we got to keep an eye on these rotations. We've seen multiple rotating thunderstorms with this stuff. This one is out here. It's going to be to the due north of 290 and several miles, probably as much as 15 miles to the northwest of Fredericksburg, and that one's moving to the south. That's a rotating thunderstorm, so we'll keep an eye on that. Again, rotation doesn't always mean a tornado. You got to have tight rotation close to the surface. The most dangerous thunderstorm right now is moving through Hays County, and it's a wind problem. And these thunderstorms will be crossing out of the viewing area shortly. And as soon as we see that leading edge cross on out of the viewing area, which is going to be in the next hour 30 minutes, we're going to be, for the most part, done for the rest of the night from severe weather. We've still got some maybe lingering showers as this front moves on through, but the severe weather threat will start to decrease in a big way. Rain cooled 72 degrees right now in Austin. As of the last observation, and it'll get updated here in about 5 or 6 minutes, Blanco at 90, but it's a lot cooler than 90 degrees right now. Also, as of the last observation, mid-90s in Mason. It's still in the low 90s out towards the east in Lee and Fayette County. Interesting to see no thunderstorm development here. I'm sure both of you all there in Lee and Fayette County are just fine with that. But the bulk of it has just been firing out towards the west of you. Look at how large that severe thunderstorm warning is. This one coming out just a few minutes ago, and we will read the latest information with that one. This one coming out just 4 minutes ago. It's a much larger severe thunderstorm warning to issue it downstream from these thunderstorms for the remainder and the rest of Bastrop County. It includes now the far western sections of Fayette County. It includes all of Caldwell and the rest of Hays County. Also includes our friends down to the south and portions of Comal County. So this is a thunderstorm that they have now moving at 40. So they've got the forward speed coming down a bit, now moving at 40. So we'll do no storm track on it here in a second. Main concern, damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and wind gust as high as 60 miles per hour, and hail as large as 1 inch in diameter. So we'll do a new storm track for that. So everyone that is watching in Caldwell and the rest of Hays and the rest of Bastrop County know what's happening. So we'll draw our line like that and have it moving off to the due south at 40. Moving to San Marcos here, next couple of minutes. It may be, the 5 or 10 minutes before it gets to the outlets, but if you live out towards Texas State, it's moving in now. Lockhart just before 8 o'clock. Cistern at 8:05, so Cistern is out there in western Fayette County. Flatonia, you're going to be in the mix for this as well. And then south of our viewing area, Green, we all know Green Hall at 8:08, New Braunfels at 8:12. Luling will get you this thunderstorm to move in at least by 8:20. The forward speed may pick up, but at least by 8:20. Damaging winds and hail the size of quarters possible. And then down around Seguin, it's out of our viewing area, but a lot of people come in from Seguin getting on that 130 toll road. Seguin at about 8:25, and then getting into the Bexar County area at about 8:30. So if you kind of just look at that, by about 8:30, our severe weather threat is going to be pretty much over for the viewing area. So that's we can handle another 40 minutes. Just want to make sure that you are informed and know what's going on. These winds continue to be a big problem right along I-35 between Buda, Kyle, and San Marcos. We're still seeing these indications of winds aloft or higher up in the atmosphere of 60, if not 70 miles per hour. Look at that pixel there, 81, 80. I saw 86 just a second ago. So these are 88 miles per hour. Intense winds, so mixing to the surface of 60 to 70 at least coming on in. So damaging winds coming in to the Buda and Kyle area. I am looking at the chat on Facebook Live. And if you are on the Facebook Live page, if you could give me a report. Carrie says that Kyle is getting hammered. Kyle is getting hammered. What does that mean, Carrie? Give me some, how bad is it right now in Kyle? Because that's a look at Doppler winds. Let's look at Doppler radar reflectivity. And those thunderstorms are on your doorstep, San Marcos. 60, 70 mile per hour wind gusts. It's possible in San Marcos. Not much of a hail threat with this thunderstorm, but 60, 70 mile per hour straight line winds possible. moving through Mustang Ridge, approaching Lockhart. It's going to be in Lockhart next about 10 minutes, less than 10 minutes. Going to be moving through Lockhart. Again, let's do a little closer in storm track. They've got this stuff moving to the south at about, let me do a little cleaner look at that. Moving to the south at 40. Let's see when it gets there. So we've got it moving through San Marcos now, moving through Lockhart at about 8:02. So yeah, less than 10 minutes. And we've got 60 plus, 60, maybe even 70 mile per hour winds coming on in. Kyla Ruiz says Buda is getting crazy wind and rain. Very windy and rainy, Carrie says in Kyle. Lisa says the winds are crazy in Buda. Heavy rain and crazy winds in Buda. Ellie is saying that. So getting a lot of great reports from our friends that are watching in the Buda and Kyle area. Amy's watching. Amy's out in the Buda Kyle area. Amy, what is Chase's weather station saying? How high are the winds there? Winds dying down, Cheryl's saying. Where are they dying down there, Cheryl? Out there in North Austin, yep. Andrew's saying no electricity in South Austin. So I'm just keeping an eye on all of your reports. I appreciate everyone for typing on in. Yeah, so we're getting those ground reports of the straight line winds coming on in. Forrest Smiley says straight line winds, no hail. Okay, so it's the wind threat. Wind threat moving through Kyle and Buda right now, approaching San Marcos. That's a look at Doppler reflectivity. Here's a look at Doppler winds. And again, you see these blues. This is where you have 60, maybe even 70 mile per hour wind gusts, all moving down to the south, getting closer to Lockhart, getting closer, moving in right now to San Marcos. And there's also some intense winds, 50, 60 mile per hour wind gusts, not too far from the Cedar Creek area and out here in southwestern sections of Bastrop County, not too far from the Red Rock area. Let's get to maybe some streets to pop on up. There's Rockney, there's Red Rock, Clearview. So we got some gusty winds in that part of Bastrop County, but it's easy to pick out. The most intense winds are in southern and southeastern sections of Hayes County, about to move into Caldwell County right now. Getting reports of thunderstorm damage, a large tree blocking Olin Road. That is coming in. Olin Road, of course, north of downtown. Getting reports of 3-inch size limbs, 3-inch size limbs around Jonestown that have come down. So now the damage reports start to come in. Let's take a look at the latest storm reports, and maybe we can kind of take a look at what's going on. Look at all the new icons that have popped up. And we look at these to kind of give us ground reports and an idea of what's headed towards Kyle, or what's in Kyle right now, but what's headed maybe to Lockhart and Luling and Dale and Cistern and Flatonia as these storms continue to move down towards the south. So near Hudson Bend and the Lake Travis area, had some strong winds reported there. Near Manor, some strong winds reported. This is going to, not really getting any super great. And there you go. So there's the one that is going to be 15th Street near Red River, 15th near Red River. So we're talking downtown Austin. That tree is down, and a tree is blocking 2 lanes there on 15th Street near Red River. So that is some strong winds that came through that part of downtown Austin. At minimum 40 to 50, and a hail report south of Elgin with these thunderstorms coming on in. Let's kind of go back to Doppler winds. So we do have this thunderstorm that is starting to increase in intensity south of Bastrop, and then this one, that's the meanest thunderstorm on the map right now. Now it's Hayes County. If you are in Austin, our main 2 concerns now that the severe weather, now that the strong winds, the tornado threat is now south of downtown Austin, really much of Travis County, your 2 main concerns now here in Austin, cloud to ground lightning. We still have a lot of lightning out there. I'm looking at my Oasis camera, and it's just a lot of lightning still, cloud to ground lightning. And also we are under a flash flood warning. So avoid low water crossings, avoid any kind of water that's crossing the road right now, okay? So that's the thunderstorms that are moving through Hayes, Bastrop, and now into Caldwell County. We'll do another storm track, kind of a bigger storm track like that. And there's some of the new times that are popping on up. So this severe thunderstorm warning out here towards the west, we'll get a look at it. There's some of the latest times, and we'll look at this western one because they just issued a new warning for portions of Gillespie. But Rosanke here now, moving into Rosanke now. Cistern at 8:09, New Braunfels 8:13, and then south of the viewing area, Bulverde at 8:22, Luling there in southern Caldwell County at 8:26, and then getting closer to San Antonio by 8:34, the Universal City and Converse area. So if I were you and you wanted to go to San Antonio here in the next 2 hours. I just wouldn't do it. It's just, you do not want to be on I-35 between Austin and San Antonio right now. You've got intense winds, and you've got just the possibility of hail. But again, winds as high as 50, if not 60, 70 miles per hour. I want to actually go to our downtown camera, and we're still rocking and rolling out there. And again, wind gusts here in Austin, probably in the 40 to 50 mile per hour range. These thunderstorms are non-severe in downtown, but low water crossings are going to be an issue as they move through downtown. Thank you, sir. And it's going to be not really great to be out and about. Next hour, things are going to improve in a big way here in Austin, but you don't want to go out. And Carly, if you would, if it's easy, if we can pull up some of these TxDOT cameras. I'm looking here in the Weather Center. We've got one I-35 at Clarkson. I got one at I-35 towards Hermitage Drive. Just kind of be interesting to show viewers just what the road conditions are. And there's ponding out there. There you go. There's I-35. But nothing awful. You know what I mean? We do have that flash flood warning. There's ponding on the roadway. There's going to be at least the threat of hydroplaning, of course, on the highways. And then secondary roads may have some issues too. That's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. So I'm just getting a drink of water here. After what hour are we at? We're going into like hour 3 pretty soon. Getting just a break here, and we'll go back to the Doppler radar. Okay, so let's get back to the radar side and make sure you know what is happening. And one thing that caught my eye on my other weather computer is a hail core, the size of hail that is increasing right now in southern areas of Bastrop County. So let's go back to Hail Tracker, and that is some big hail. Now we're starting to talk about not quarter size, but maybe golf ball size, Bastrop to Rosanke. If you're watching me from Rosanke, or you plan on doing some traveling along Texas 304 through central and southern sections of Bastrop County, that's a mean thunderstorm. We got reports of some good sized hail moving through downtown Bastrop, about 10, 15 minutes ago. Now that hail core is even larger. Now the hail may be even larger as it moves off towards the south. We can do a storm track on this one, and this thunderstorm also moving to the south at about 40. So there you see it moving String Prairie at 8:02, Delhi at 8:08, Sistrum at about 8:10. So hail core, heavy rain, and the potential for some gusty winds. That's coming in right now. The thunderstorm winds have really picked up in San Marcos. If you're watching from San Marcos and you're on the Facebook page, holler at me. Let me know what's going on there. Megan says, yeah, we're in Rosanke. Megan's watching from Rosanke, and you've got that hail core headed towards you. But now we're looking at Hays County. San Marcos, we probably got some really intense winds over you right now that's moving down towards the south. A lot of reports of trees down. Robin Mayfield saying trees are down on Highway 71 around Spicewood. Branches on the road. They got home at 7:30 after driving straight through the storm. They got 4 inches of rain at the rain gauge near Spicewood. Lots of trees. Also getting reports from emergency managers of trees down. I've got reports of trees down, multiple trees down and blocking roads. That's coming from emergency manager Stephen Long. I believe that's Travis County, but reports from Jonestown of large trees down, roof damage out around Jonestown, about 1 mile northeast of Georgetown, of roof damage there because of wind. We've got wind gusts now over 55 miles per hour that just came into the Gillespie County area in Fredericksburg. So let's go investigate those thunderstorms that are out in Gillespie County. We're trying to give equal time to everybody, and we're trying to do our best, making sure everyone knows what's going on. But look at these storms coming through Fredericksburg right now. There's the heavy rainfall, blinding rainfall. Let's go to Hail Tracker. Got hail, probably the size of Nichols, maybe quarter size, 1 inch size hail through Fredericksburg right now. And then let's take a look at these winds. Got that ground report. See if it's popped up on our storm reports. It hasn't just yet, but a report just a few minutes ago of about a 55 mile per hour wind at the reporting station in Gillespie County, south of Fredericksburg. So those thunderstorms are coming in. They're coming in severe too, out towards the west in the hill country. So 51 knots, 58 mile per hour wind gusts with those thunderstorms coming in. So just below severe weather limits, but they are mean. Let's go back to velocity real quick. So one thing that has caught my eye, and this is going to be extreme south central areas of Gillespie County. This is rural areas of Gillespie County. Anytime you see that in a severe storm, so you got a donut hole, that is an indication to me that we have a very, very strong updraft. You have upward motion, right? So radar is only detecting stuff that's coming down, whether it's hail or rain, or in cases of like tornado warnings, debris. Whenever you see a donut hole like that, that's an updraft. You got to watch those things, because if they start to spin, you can sometimes get a tornado warning out of them. But it's some broad rotation. It's nothing strong. So we'll keep an eye on that. Let's just get a quick look at shear product, and we're good there too. It's stormy in Gillespie County, from Harper to Fredericksburg to Stonewall. Southern sections of Blanco County. We still got some thunderstorms for you right along the Blanco River. A couple of miles, like 2 miles due west of Blanco. Those thunderstorms are moving down towards the south. Severe weather threat is slowly decreasing for the rest of Blanco County. And then we've got this thunderstorm that is pushing out of Travis County. Still got a tremendous amount of lightning, though, in southern sections of Travis County. It is rocking and rolling, I bet, thunder-wise, around Mustang Ridge and Cistern. Just in that red box there, 940 cloud ground lightning strikes in just the last 15 minutes. Just a tremendous amount of lightning. We'll take off the lightning just so we can see the radar a little clearer. And we've got still that supercell thunderstorm capable of producing large hail the size of quarters, if not golf balls, in southern sections of Bastrop County. So let's go back to Doppler winds, and we'll do a storm track on this, because those are some mean winds right now in Hayes County. Very, very mean winds. We're getting reports from you. Thankful for you there in on Facebook Live, giving us updates on what's going on. Amy, I appreciate your report. Amy, we're giving me a wind report from Hayes County. Karen's saying crazy winds around Texas State. So let's sample once again. Doppler, we'll get a new scan right there. Let's sample some of these winds. Yeah, so still getting Doppler winds 60, 70 miles per hour. 72, 74 miles per hour. So we're still talking about wind gusts at the surface, 60, 65 miles per hour. And this thunderstorm is moving down towards the south. You can kind of see where it's headed. Martindale, Reedville, Lockhart, Luling, and then eventually making its way south into the Seguin area. That thunderstorm is headed towards your direction. What about Austin? Well, our severe weather threat in terms of hail and wind is coming to an end. You can see the amount of lightning, though, that continues to add up anywhere from South Austin around Ben White, between Ben White 35 and 183, all the way southward to the 45 toll in southern sections of Travis County around Creedmoor. Still some heavy rain there, but that maroon color, that is a flash flood warning, and that flash flood warning posted for the entire county of Travis until 10:15 because of low water crossing issues, because we're going to have problems. We're going to have flooded roadways. I think primary roads, your Interstate 183, Mopac 360, ponding and hydroplaning is going to be your main concern there. So secondary roads you want to watch out for. Also joining in on the flash flood warning is Hayes County. Everyone in Hayes County, from Dripping to San Marcos, from Buda and Kyle to Wood Creek and Wimberley, you're under a flash flood warning too until 10:30. And you want to watch out, especially, you go out towards a couple of miles to the due west of 35. You got a lot of hills there in Hayes County. Watch out for those low water crossings. So let's zoom out here, and we'll just kind of take a look at all the warnings. Who's under warnings, and why are we still on TV? And I'm going to probably be able to let you go back to programming by 8:30. How about that? And Chris is here too. And Chris, whenever you want to talk about power outages or whatever, you holler at me. But there's a look at the latest warnings. In orange, those are severe thunderstorm warnings in effect. That is now south of downtown. That includes Hayes County, portions of Bastrop, all of Caldwell County, down into Comal County, extreme southern Blanco County, and much of Gillespie County, all right? The main concerns in orange will be thunderstorms producing straight line winds 60+ miles per hour and large hail. We also have flash flood warnings in effect. Those are the maroon counties. So let me just take off the severe ones and look at all the flash flood warnings in maroon. Gillespie, Llano, Travis, Hayes. Want to avoid low water crossings, want to avoid any flooded roadway, secondary roads in particular, as we've picked up quite a bit of rainfall here just this evening. And if you look at that, that's a look at Doppler radar estimated rainfall. And what I'm going to do is, City of Austin has a great network that you can get on the LCRA Hydromet. And this is kind of some of the ground reports from rain gauges through the City of Austin. And about 1.25 inches out around Mopac, and Mopac near the 22 22 area, 1 inch around the domain, and then down in southwest Austin, 3/4 to near an inch of rainfall. So it's been heavy. It hasn't, been super heavy, but still want to avoid those low water crossings. A severe thunderstorm watch in pink, Pepto-Bismol pink, remains in effect until 10 o'clock. There's a look at the Doppler radar. The 3 thunderstorms that I'm most concerned about, and the reason why we're just keeping everyone informed, is this one moving through Gillespie County. Now the heaviest activity south of Fredericksburg. Large hail, damaging winds possible. We had been watching at least some broad rotation, but it's just heavy rainfall. Then you get out here towards Hayes County and moving now through Caldwell County, especially right in here. Lockhart, you're dealing with it right now. We'll zoom in and we'll look at Doppler winds. And then this one, this supercell south of Bastrop and moving away from Bastrop in southern sections of Bastrop County, kind of right on top of Rosanke. That one producing large hail and gusty winds, but hail's the main concern with that one. Wind's the main concern with this one, moving to into Caldwell County out of Hayes County, and then wind and hail with this guy. So I want to just investigate this thunderstorm for a second, and you can see how the winds have really ramped up and the rain has really started to come down just in the last few minutes. In Lockhart, Luling, you're next. Luling, southern Caldwell County, you're next. Let's go to Doppler winds, and we're still getting those colors, those blues, right? The scale is out there towards the left side of your screen. You start seeing these blues. Those are inbound winds going towards the radar, 60 plus, and we're sampling some of these, and they're around 70, 75 miles per hour above the surface, mixing down to 60, 65. So this is some intense winds going down towards the south. Lockhart, the winds are about to pick up in a big way, could have severe winds, could bring down tree limbs, like we've seen several reports in portions of Travis County and even out west into southern sections of Burnett County, and that's all headed towards Luling as well. Thunderstorm activity as far as winds go out in this thunderstorm, this is a supercell that's over Bastrop County. There's probably maybe some 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts embedded in it, but problem with this one is the hail. Look at hail tracker, my goodness. From Rosanke and like 2 miles due west of Texas 304, so like 2 miles due west of Rosanke. That is a mean storm. There could be golf ball size hail with that thunderstorm, and it's going to move all the way down towards the south. So if you live in this rural area of Caldwell County, far eastern Caldwell County, or far western southwestern Fayette County, that thunderstorm is going to be passing to the south closer to you, and you can see all the lightning strikes with it. Let me just get one check of Doppler winds, see if we get any rotation. We'll take a look at shear. Shear is a good indication to me to kind of clean up the radar. If we got any strong rotation, we don't. We'll take a look at Doppler winds here. Kind of different views, still just really intense winds. Gosh, I would not want to be on 21 between Bastrop County and Hayes County, right around Ulen, Niederwald. You guys are getting it, especially right in between there on 21. What is that, Cattle Bend? I guess Cattle Bend and FM 2001, 2001. And we're getting sampling of radar. Look at that, 79 mile, 81 mile per hour winds above the surface. So that could be mixing down to 60 or 70. Where we're at, that's enough to cause a significant amount of damage. And we're getting ground reports that Doppler radar has been right on it. It's been right on it with these thunderstorms that are coming on in and producing not just hail as large as golf balls in some spots, but also straight line winds. And you can see the little blue icons here. Those are all straight line winds that have been reported. The one that's near San Marcos, let's see what that one says. It's just showing me a strong winds. That's that strong wind that we got around 56, 58 miles per hour near San Marcos just a couple of minutes ago. So let's go to the news desk. Chris Betts is standing by, and we'll come back to Doppler radar in a second. But now that the worst of the severe weather is past Austin, I'm curious to know latest statistics. How are we doing on power? Are we getting reports of damage? So let's get an update from Chris in the newsroom.
Well, thankfully, Albert, we've been watching Twitter. A lot of you guys have been tweeting us pictures. We've seen a lot of trees and limbs down on people's backyards. So far, though, no real serious damage has been reported. But if you do see serious damage, let us know. So you guys are our eyes and ears right now. We're here. We're watching the radar. We're seeing social media and what you're posting. But if you see severe weather and damage, let us know. But we did have in Burnett, Texas, the storms kind of passed through there earlier this afternoon around 5:30 and 6. There was a tour boat with 80 people on Lake Buchanan. and that the boat started taking on water. So the Texas game warden got a phone call that the tour boat with 80 people again on board had become disabled at some point when the engine compartment got flooded. So the game warden went out there along with rescue crews, and just within the last 15 minutes they were able to get the people off of the boat, and that boat was able to fortunately make land on an island, so they were able to dock it out there on Lake Buchanan and get the people off. So what they're going to do is take the passengers, they're keeping them right now, and then they'll be taken to the Burnett County side of Lake Buchanan. So again, these storms came through hard, they came through fast, and a lot of people were out on Lake Travis as well. And we saw a lot of people coming in off Lake Travis. Seems like they were kind of taken by surprise, even though Albert had warned us about this. And then we wanted to look at the low water crossings that are closed right now. This is atxfloods.com. This is a live look. Looks like there are 34 crossings closed. So the storms moved through so fast. Doesn't look like water has been able to accumulate too much like we saw at the beginning of May, where there were hundreds of low water crossings closed. But again, these ones that are closed, you're going to want to be careful of, because as we saw in the last storms, we had 4 or 5 people that were swept away in their cars, and a few people who died when they passed over these low water crossings. So let's see, I'm not sure if we have any other video or damage of storms. Okay, that's not coming in just quite yet. But we do know that, again, those passengers aboard the Lake Buchanan tour boat are all okay. They had to be rescued, again, if you're just now tuning in, when those storms moved through on Burnett. But if you see storms moving through, I know friends of mine in South Austin and in Hayes County are starting to get those strong line winds coming through, and they said it went from daylight at 7:30 to feeling like it was midnight. It got that dark, that fast, and tree limbs were coming down. And we do have our storm chaser crews who are out right now, and so we're going to take a live look from what they're seeing. I know they had to pull over their car earlier tonight because the sheer wind force was moving the car, and we want to be careful too when we're out there. So we're your eyes, we're your ears, but we have to be careful too with our crews. And so they did have to pull over when they were up in Williamson County earlier tonight, but they're back on the road, and look at that. After the sun comes the rainbows. So it looks like it's clearing up. This is in the, I can't quite tell, it looks like North Austin area, headed down Mopac. But we're going to have Albert come back in just a few minutes to let us know how it's going down in Llano. And I know parts of Hayes County still now, some of you just now getting those storms. And then TxDOT showing us their live cameras as well. This is on I-35 at Hermitage Drive. Clearing up. So these storms, they move through fast, they move through hard, but they are clearing out now as they move down towards our southeastern counties. And yeah, looks like I-35 north again at Clarkson also flowing pretty smoothly tonight. So, and coming up tonight at 10, there are some changes coming to 620 for those of you who are on your morning commute, not weather related, but construction related, that you're going to need to know before you hit your morning commute. So Albert Ramon now back in the storm center with a look at where these storms are moving. Albert, and like I said, they're moving through hard, they're moving through fast, because you can see it's clear here at I-35, but that's a different story a little bit further south.
That's right. Yeah. So the severe weather threat is decreasing for the city of Austin. Our main concern here in Austin now will be from what's left over. We may have some, limbs down, and we're getting reports of that. I haven't heard anything about like power lines down, but you want to avoid obviously that. Treat every line like it's still hot. But also, because we're under a flash flood warning, want to watch out for those low water crossings. Chris mentioned a great resource, atxfloods.com. So if you've got to be out, and some people they've got to be out due to work or whatever, just avoid low water crossings. So let's just give you an update. Let's plan on taking you to how about 8:30. That way we can get through these warnings that are moving through Hayes and Caldwell County, and we'll give you an update. So let's just kind of go, say that again, producer. Okay, so let's start from west and go to the east. So let's start with this thunderstorm. This is a severe thunderstorm. The heaviest part of it, though, in Gillespie County is going to be south of Fredericksburg, south of Harper. I mean, just a lot of lightning with this thunderstorm. Take a look at Hail Tracker. Got a hail core right to the south of the Pedernales River. This is going to be passing, again, well to the south of Fredericksburg and off towards the due west of the community of Albert and also Stonewall. Also some hail in the extreme southwest corner of Gillespie County. So it's just really rain and lightning. Want to watch it for low water crossings for sure. here in Gillespie County because that rain has been heavy. Blanco County, you're good. We've got some lingering showers around Blanco and along 281, but there's nothing big on you. The heaviest activity has moved to the south. Hayes County, things are starting to improve, aren't they? If you're watching me from Kyle and Buda, at least compared to what, about 20 minutes ago. But San Marcos, we're still getting the rain. We're still getting the lightning. Some of the heaviest downpours and some of the gustiest winds are south of San Marcos proper and a little bit more to the south, kind of closer to the outlets, and that will be exiting through Comal County shortly. Now, Caldwell County, on the other hand, our friends in Caldwell County, they're getting hit hard, especially Lockhart to Mustang Ridge. I wouldn't want to be on the 130 toll or 183 Lockhart into the city because that is just a tremendous amount of lightning. Let's take a look at Doppler winds with this, and you still see what we were looking at this 5 minutes ago. This has not slowed down. Still, the potential with this thunderstorm not too far from 21 between San Marcos and the 183 exit of 60 to maybe even 70, 75 miles per hour above the surface. So we've got some very strong winds at the surface, 60 plus miles per hour. And you kind of see where those are headed. Those are headed a little bit closer to Texas 80. So even the San Marcos High School, that part, and then points off towards the south and east. You want to watch out for those straight line winds that are coming on in. We'll take a look at shear, and again, shear gives me an idea if we have any strong rotation, and we're not really seeing anything super strong as far as rotation goes. There's a look at Doppler radar. There's a look at hail tracker and some small hail with that storm, but the main concern will be straight line winds. The National Weather Service still saying that thunderstorm capable of producing 60 plus mile per hour winds. Okay, here's this thunderstorm. We've been talking about this one all evening long. This is the one that is pushing through southern sections of Bastrop County. The heaviest activity now pushing to the south of Rosanke. Some hail the size of nickels right along Texas 304. That's going to be moving into the extreme eastern sections of Caldwell County. It looks like maybe the heaviest activity stays just a few miles to the east of Dale, and also clipping portions of southern and southwestern Fayette County. So Flatonia, also the Cistern area, we've got this thunderstorm headed your way. There's a look at live Doppler radar. You can see the amount of lightning with that thunderstorm, and we'll take a look at winds, and nothing too strong as far as winds go. It looks like mainly hail with this thunderstorm, and the thunderstorm will be moving across I-10 in less than 30 minutes. Let's talk about all the active warnings that we have. First, there are those active severe thunderstorm warnings. Those are in orange. Severe thunderstorm warnings for hail and wind threat. Hail and wind. The severe thunderstorm warning that National Weather Service just updated on, this one's going to be for southern areas of Bastrop County, Caldwell County, extreme southern sections of Hayes County, and then into Comal County. This one could be producing golf ball size hail along with 70 mile per hour winds. So let's do a storm track on this one. It will be thankfully exiting out of our viewing area, but it still has some folks in our viewing area to get through. So there's a look at the Doppler radar. We'll take off the lightning so we can get a clearer look at it. And this is moving to the south at 45. Again, 70 mile per hour wind gusts and golf ball size hail will be possible. So let's do a storm track on this thunderstorm kind of right in here. It's about to move into Luling right now. Luling at 8:23, so in about a minute and a half, Luling, you're going to notice the winds really start to pick up. Seguin at 8:28. Seguin outside of our viewing area, but very popular location, especially on a Sunday evening for folks taking the 130 toll northward towards Austin, and then outside of the viewing area, Cibolo and Schertz and New Berlin and Nixon as we roll through the 8 o'clock hour. So this is going to be pushing out of our viewing area shortly. That's why I feel comfortable sending you back to programming here at 8:30. But Luling, you are under the gun for those gusty winds. Lockhart, you're right in the middle of it. There's a look at hail tracker. The official warning has hail as large as golf balls possible with this storm. I'm not seeing evidence of that on the latest scan, but as this storm moves down to the south, it has not gotten any weaker. It's only gotten stronger. So as we roll through the next hour or so, and it pushes to the south of I-10, it certainly could be a golf ball producer. The other warnings that we do have flash flood warnings in effect. Those are counties in maroon. All of Travis, all of Hayes, much of Llano, and much of Gillespie County. So that includes Fredericksburg, Llano, the city of Austin, down south of Buda, Kyle, San Marcos, Wood Creek, Wimberley, Dripping. You're under a flash flood warning because we've seen a lot of rain, in some cases over 2 inches in a short period of time. We'll say it again, turn around, don't drown, avoid low water crossings. Primary roads, 35, Mopac, 360, 183. The tolls, they're going to be fine. Hydroplaning is going to be a concern. They're going to be fine. But as far as those secondary roads, especially secondary roads that intersect with low water crossings, those are going to be an issue here for tonight. There's a look at the latest warnings. There's the warning that we're continuing to track here for the next 7 minutes until 8:30. This is includes Hays County, southern sections of Bastrop County, western sections of Fayette County, and much of Caldwell County. Storm reports. Let's see if we've got anything new coming in from the National Weather Service. And there are a few new wind reports coming in. Those are these blue icons. Strong winds reported with these thunderstorms exceeding 50 miles per hour. I'm taking a look at the weather wire here. We got a 70-mile-per-hour wind gust in portions of Travis County. San Leanna, 1 mile east-northeast of Travis County. 70-mile-per-hour wind there reported just before the 8 o'clock hour. Also had a 60-mile-per-hour wind gust reported near Martindale in Caldwell County. So yeah, we're getting ground reports that the Doppler winds that we've been talking about for about the last 2 hours, they have been confirming the intense winds. So ground reports of 60 to 70 miles per hour. And where you're looking for those intense winds right now will be in blue, especially where you see these brighter blue, or darker blue, I should say, darker blue pixels. Those are the ones where you could certainly have wind gusts exceeding 70 miles per hour. That is showing, and you see that on your screen, you're saying, what in the world, 117 miles per hour. That may be towards the middle part of the thunderstorm, 20, 25 plus thousand feet, but certainly mixing down 70 plus mile per hour winds will be possible. And you can kind of see where those winds are right now. Ulen to Martindale, we'll zoom in a little bit more. Maxwell, right there around FM 1966 and Texas 142, some intense winds that are moving down towards the south. It looks like, at least for Lockhart and Luling's sake, that most intense winds may stay just a few miles to your west as those continue to move down towards the south. Temperatures have cooled in a big way, and the reason why I show you temperatures is a cooling of the atmosphere is a stabilization of the atmosphere. Out ahead of this rare, strong June cold front, we had temperatures exceeding upper 90s in some cases, as hot as 102, 103 degrees, about 98 to 99 across Travis County. So you had a hot, humid bubble of air. You have cool, dry air clashing with it coming in from the north, and that's why we've had such an active evening with thunderstorms producing large hail, damaging winds, and earlier on, tornado warnings. Although I'm looking at the weather wire, I don't have any kind of damage due to tornadoes, and that's certainly good news. That being said, there is a lot of information coming in as far as tree limbs down across the area from the hill country to the metro to out east when it comes to strong winds producing enough force to bring down tree limbs. And I know many of you may be out of power here this evening as these thunderstorms continue to move down towards the south. What's going to happen for the rest of the evening? I will load our future radar. And this is showing as we roll through the 9 and 10 o'clock hour, those thunderstorms will continue to move down towards the south. So I think once these cross I-10, probably in the next hour and a half, our atmosphere is going to be so much more stable. Doesn't mean we're going to be completely dry overnight, but just some showers overnight into tomorrow. I've put the rain chance tomorrow at about 30%, and high temperatures tomorrow will only be in the 80s. I didn't have a chance to show you the extended forecast. Didn't have a chance to show you the extended forecast during the 5:30 newscast, but you can see the temperatures are going to be a lot cooler as we head into next 2 days. It's going to feel like October over the next few days. I was just taking a look at our downtown camera. There it is. This was rocking and rolling with heavy rainfall, and there you see the lightning as we look down towards the south of downtown. The lightning associated with those thunderstorms that are pushing through Hays County and Caldwell County right now. And just to kind of give you an idea of how quickly the weather has changed this evening here in Austin, not only are we dry, but as I continue to turn our camera a little bit more to the west, we're getting a spectacular sunset. So that ends the severe weather risk for Travis County, and that ends our severe weather coverage for now, because we're going to send you back to programming. Want you to keep updated if you're in extreme southern Hays and extreme southwestern Caldwell County. Those thunderstorms are going to remain severe for about the next 30 minutes. I'm going to keep an eye on them for you. We are scrolling information at the bottom of your screen, but for now, we send you back to ABC programming, and we'll see you tonight at 10. Updates continuously on our Facebook page, the KVUE News app, and KVUE.com.